beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
I gotta get a witness. No!
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
That's true. Sometimes I cry.
Oh! Lick my butthole, he laughed.
From the strangest corners of the internet, here to bring you opinions of the world from an altered perspective. Here are your hosts, the Drunken Peasants.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast. This is episode 1172. Doing it live.
Doing it live.
And it's been quite a day. And we'll get to all the fun stuff. I've been watching it all day. The Trump stuff, the Trump arraignment, all of that. I wish they would have let video cameras in. But the compromise was still photographs.
Bill.
Bah! Yeah, I washed my balls today. My golf balls. Tickliest. What do you think Trump looks like? Do you think he's like, they're letting him wear a suit and everything? Or you think they...
What?
They locked him up, right? See, I saw a picture. Someone tricked me. It's those deep fakes.
No, he went in there. They did all the formalities. They told him what his charges were. He left. He got on a plane and flew back to Florida, and he's already given a speech about it. I have all of it.
Oh man, okay.
You know what? We should remind everyone to please like the stream. We should also remind everyone that we actually upload the video version of the show to a different platform other than YouTube now, also through Spotify, and you can check it out over there. I do it right after the show ends. I upload it there for the, it's just the raw file that I recorded. That means if anything ever gets cut from the YouTube version of the show, that over on Spotify will have the original version on it. So it's cool to check it out, even as an alternative. I linked it down below in the description. I'll put it in the chat really quick here too. Because we have two feeds on Spotify. There's one that's audio only, and then we have another one that's just the video. So that's for the video one. I recommend you going there and giving us a follow over there just to help us out, because we're going to monetize shit over there too. Because we need to break free from the chains of YouTube. YouTube buckfuts us all the time.
Love you, YouTube. You're my boo.
Stockholm Syndrome. All right. Please like the stream. We're gonna check out the news, the wonderful or maybe not so wonderful news, depending on how you feel about this. Here we go.
He called me sir. It got me so fuming angry.
People are discriminating against wolves.
Wow. They're laughing at us, at our stupidity.
So here was a social media post I saw when I first woke up this morning. Basically, the Truth Social. So you have this is Truth Social is probably
play YMCA. Why is it YMCA? It should be Macho Man, or maybe We Are the Champions, or the theme from DuckTales. Woo woo, DuckTales.
I do like DuckTales.
So yeah, I'm Truth Social must be getting the most traffic they've ever had in these this last week.
Yeah, it would seem that way.
Yeah.
Donald J. Trump, he's a part owner, right? Is that?
I think so. And I had never gone to Truth Social before, a couple days ago, to see what he was saying on there. So I wonder how many other people had gone there just to check up on what Trump was saying.
Well, I go there to fact check. It's all truth by the name.
It's social.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing, is having social awareness with the truth.
It was kind of a lazy name, though.
I mean,
it's a very simple name. It's the best name.
Wasn't truth also what they went with after the cigarette companies got sued? Big Tobacco had to like do their truth campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a public service type thing.
Did Trump just buy that domain from them for this, or how that worked? Now that everybody does vapes?
Smoking is gross. Okay. Yeah.
Trump said, very unfair venue with some areas that voted 1% Republican.
So what he's complaining about is where he happens to be facing these charges, and it doesn't matter. You don't get to request a new place just because the people in that area wouldn't have voted for you. That's where you lived, and that's where you committed the crimes. So
this case should be moved to nearby Staten Island.
Staten Island is one of the more Republican areas in like New York City.
Would be a very fair and secure location for the trial. Additionally, the highly partisan judge and his family are well-known Trump haters.
So he's attacking the judge. Like
Trumpster Bob.
Trumpster Bob has nothing to lose.
This is basically what Trumpster Bob said in his knife case, that the judge and his family hated him.
Yep.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
The highly partisan judge and his family are well-known Trump haters. He was an unfair disaster on a previous Trump-related case, wouldn't recuse, gave horrible jury instructions, and impossible to deal with during the witch hunt trial. His daughter worked for Kamala and now the Biden-Harris campaign. Kangaroo Court. Captain Kangaroo over here. I like it.
Yeah. I remember Trump Jr. was comparing this to shit that would happen under Stalin, but you didn't get a trial under Stalin. You didn't get a lawyer. None of that. You just were convicted based on because they wanted to convict you.
What were his comparisons to Stalin then?
There was no comparison. He just
Trump
said it
left
was
and
like
why?
it.
Because they hate him. Now he's picking a fight with the governor of his new residence. What a cunt.
He basically, they know old school communist leaders not liked by the right at all, and a lot of like the brutal history of Stalin and like Pol Pot and that kind of stuff. So all they do is make the comparison. They don't name any ways how they are actually compared.
And he doesn't want to upset his base, so he won't compare them to Hitler.
No, Hitler was not named. It was all the old like communist dictators that killed a bunch of people.
He's like, I don't want to name. They're not like Hitler. There was good people on both sides. So it was what, 34 federal charges?
34, not federal, felony charges.
Felony. Okay, shit. Yeah.
Here's some people, some old ladies and some other people tussling over an anti-Trump sign or something. Check this out. It gets kind of heated. Luckily, no one here is strong enough to actually hurt anybody else.
Cute. Is she about to pee on it? Oh. Have a nice trip.
So this old lady was about to like rush up on her and like at least like push her off, but then she fell and she's like, "Oh, maybe I need to."
You think she was going to push her, or do you think she was going to fix the flag?
Well, she was standing on it, so she needed to push her off it to fix it.
You're on the wrong side.
Oh, God.
You're on the wrong side.
You're on the wrong side. Yeah, that's a compelling argument. I'm sure they'll be like, "What? Really? Okay." Now that you put it that way.
You're on the wrong side. You're on the wrong side. You're on the wrong side. You're on the wrong side.
Is that Rachel Maddow?
Get out of here, you old bag of bones! This flag, bitch! Get out of here, you old bag of bones! Tear this shit up! Tear this shit up! Get off of it! Bitch, you came to the wrong side, bitch! I'm not doing it!
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm from New York. What's good? What's good? What's good?
Violent communist agitators.
Exactly.
So are these women with the red hats, are they trans for Trump?
I have no idea. I think the person with the blonde/brown hair
Yeah.
is trans for sure.
Nice.
Indivisible USA members.
Let go. Let go. Back off.
Because she mentions it later. I think she's drunk, though. The way she, like, stumbled onto the thing and, like, fell over so easily. I think she's drunk.
Back off.
Is it maybe possibly Will Sasso in a character?
I don't think celebrities go around in real life pretending to be other people quite
Borat.
so often.
Let the cops through. Relax. Told you when you come in, you got the
I want to get you guys safely to the other side.
You don't let the fucking say.
I don't want to.
Get out.
Don't step
Am
on
I
it.
right?
Don't step on it.
Get the hell out.
Let them grab it. Media.
Get out.
Those are some great beads on Rachel Maddow there. She got them on her wrist and neck.
There's no violence. Get out. There's two sides. What's good? What's good?
What's good?
Get out. Tommy, go home. Tommy,
Wait till you
go
defund the
home.
cops all the way. Hey, when you defund the cops totally, bitch, it's gonna be you and me, bitch.
So she's like, oh, I can't wait for you to defund the cops so I can kick your ass and not get in trouble for it. That's basically what she's saying here.
Yeah, that's...
I hope you defund the police. It's like, hold on. If you're against defunding the police, then why would you, like, encourage that? It's like, it's very telling. Yeah, we'll wait till they defund the police, and then we'll get to do whatever the fuck we want.
That's such like a poor person mind too.
Right.
Rich people would just be like, I'm going to beat you and then get a lawyer. I will knock you out and get a lawyer.
I'm a
Be
criminal,
rich, get a
bitch.
lawyer.
When the cops are totally defunded, bitch, you're gonna have to look out for
Totally
sexual like
defunded?
me.
Please. Let them be half defunded and I'll whoop your ass. I'm not a buster, okay?
Like I know Jesus, he died on, I believe, the cross. They call it the cross.
Oh, I hate this guy so much.
It's not very good. He's been working on this act too.
Probably
in the mirror every morning.
Do you
like,
think he
"Yeah, I
actually
can't wait for
has?
this." I think he thinks he's really good at this, but I was watching it too, and I'm like, I've seen way better. Like I don't know the name of most of the current SNL cast members, but the guy that's doing it on there now does the voice really well. He doesn't really look like him, and they put like a fake nose on him, but he does the voice almost perfectly.
You know how I feel about cringe rap?
Yeah.
I feel the same way about cringe impersonations.
Yeah, you got to do it really well.
They really bother me.
To make America great again, and you could sort of look at me right now. If you look at what's happening, it's a total persecution. It's a total persecution. Just like Christ when he was on that cross. And but we're gonna come back.
I
right?
hate
Just
that Forbes is putting this up like it's news.
I mean, they were showing the protesters and counter-protesters,
like Jesus.
getting a feel for the atmosphere at
It's in
this
time
location.
for Easter. We call it Easter. You look at the eggs and the
Where's
bunnies.
the trans for
This
Trump
guy,
girl
this guy,
come in and belly flop that guy?
This guy.
This is cute.
Hold on, though. Hold on. You're just saying that because he's fat.
No, this is cute.
This guy, he came in. He got his whole get up. Not Trump, but the next guy.
Obviously.
Zero energy.
Oh, is he the same fat guy that I was calling out for hosting that news segment last week?
No, it's not the same.
You Trump?
I think he's a magnificent bastard.
He has no energy. Watch what he. It's so funny.
I like bottoms for Trump.
All right.
Trump.
So enthusiastic.
King.
Trump.
All right.
Go Trump.
Go Trump.
What if you're?
This is if we ever have January 6th 2.0. These people are going to be the ones storming the
winded.
wet house.
He'd be too winded to even make it in. He'd run up the lawn and it'd be over.
He's a thick king.
Go Trump. Go. Go Trump.
Pro and anti-Trump demonstrators face off in New York City prior to ex-president's arraignment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to wonder how many of the pro-Trump people actually live around there versus came there just to do that. Like he said, in that area, it is like 1%. I don't know what the actual numbers are, but it is really low. Here's Trump arriving at the courtroom.
Dun, dun.
He does look directly at the camera for a second.
How many Secret Service members do you think he's got with him?
I don't know what a full detail is, but whatever that is.
There it is, about
I think they're
5
flanking
seconds,
everywhere.
5 seconds of history.
Which is funny because, like, literally, if he tried to leave without the judge's permission, he would be physically restrained by the cops there, and the Secret Service couldn't do shit about it. So, yeah, look at him look right at the camera.
Here he is.
Wow, they're playing this on repeat. Yeah, so it was like 5 seconds because video cameras weren't allowed in the courtroom. So here's I think this is Lester Holt.
We are getting word now of that.
Not Don Lemon.
Indictment that has been unsealed. Kristen, what can you tell us?
Lester, I'm just going to read this note that we just got from Adam Reese, who is inside the courthouse. Let me read it to you.
They said maximum sentence for what he's charged with. It's like a max of 4 years per count. Now, sometimes that can, like, even if he did manage to be found guilty, most of the time they let you serve those like congruently.
Yeah.
Is it congruent or it's concurrent? Concurrently
instead of consecutive.
Yeah, yeah. So like literally max would be 4 years, which he probably won't even get a day. But
there's Secret Service. Do they like just live with him in prison, or like they?
No.
They'd have to go with him into prison, wouldn't they?
I don't know. I have no. A president's never gone to prison before, so it's unprecedented. We would have to see. I don't. It would suck to have to live in prison with Trump.
Could you
know
imagine
what I mean?
if
Like,
Trump started running the prison because he had Secret Service guards there with him?
He can't do that. They're not his like hitmen. They're just supposed to protect him.
Former President Trump
But if you can't fuck with Trump, you can't stop him.
34 counts of falsifying business records related to hush money payments in the 2016. Former President Donald Trump pleaded not guilty in a Manhattan court.
And when when the plea was given, he gave it himself, from what I hear, because he could have just had his lawyer do it on his behalf.
Again, to 34 counts of falsifying business records and conspiracy for his alleged role in hush money payments to 2 women toward the end of his 2016 presidential campaign. The indictment, the first against a former president, was unsealed in a brief proceeding before Judge Mershon. So again, Lester, Mr. Trump pleading not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records. Obviously, Laura and Danny will have the ins and outs of what this means. But again, this is significant, this is historic, and it is unprecedented. And we now know that Mr. Trump has seen the charges against him, and he has pleaded not guilty, Lester.
All right, so there's that. Here he is leaving.
Now that the hearing is over, we would expect the Manhattan DA's office to email the indictment to all reporters, and I believe that was President Trump walking out.
At least he made sure his hair looked nice for court today.
He has like this cotton candy machine that he puts over his head.
That's what it looks like.
It just makes a slick little.
The way they do it on South Park, where they put it on Mr. Garrison's head, is like perfect to me. It makes me laugh really hard.
Do they have like a method to do it, or
it's like the way they draw it. It's yeah.
On his way back to Mar-a-Lago for this speech here. I want to bring in Kristen Welker, who's outside the courthouse. Kristen?
Well, Hallie, we saw
does he have to plead not guilty separately to all 34 felony charges?
He just gave a blanket not guilty to all of them.
Here with his motorcade just a few moments ago, and thought that might be a signal that he was about to leave.
I mean, with the way these charges are, and we'll look at them, pleading guilty to one of them would basically be a plea of guilty to all of them. It's all several counts of the same crime.
So as you say, he's now entered his motorcade. They are about to take off momentarily. Hallie, you can see the throngs of police here, the security here. The mayor of New York had said going into today,
I just wish there was some way we could see Donald Trump's penis.
For this moment, President
Much
Biden
I would
had
like
said
to
he
see
had
it. I don't imagine Trump will ever go to prison. Maybe house arrest. Exile would be funny.
Exile? They just sent Trump to the Isle of Man.
The police here to protect this space. And while there are hundreds of protesters, those who support former President Trump, those who are critical of him gathered in a park nearby. Hallie, I have to tell you, they have been peaceful throughout this entire process. Now you see his motorcade, Hallie, taking off, departing as we speak from Hogan Place, from officially being charged here, pleading not guilty to those.
All right, so there's him leaving. He went right to the airport and flew back to Florida. And the last thing we'll cover is the thing that just ended like a half hour ago. He kind of addresses this, but then trails off onto some nonsense about some other stuff.
Let us know when they're rolling.
So these are some of Trump's lawyers right here.
Guys, we have the attorneys.
The attorneys are on 544.
One
You're
second.
On.
Go ahead.
Shimon,
go ahead,
you're
guys.
on. Today's not a happy day.
Today's not a happy day.
It's definitely not a happy day.
Oh, happy day.
For this country. I think that...
Can you hear it?
You're on. I think that what you saw in the...
Okay, I hear you guys.
Unsealed today...
Wow, bad tech issues for CNN.
Is exactly what has been talked about for the past 7 years. You're saying and the district attorney has turned what is actually a completely political issue into a political prosecution, and it's not a good day. It's not a sad day.
It's my guy is a lawyer.
Did he just say it's not a sad?
It's not a good day. It's not a sad day.
But didn't he say it was?
I thought he did.
Didn't he say it was a sad day? Wasn't that the first thing he said?
He said, "Such a lonely day. It should be banned."
So he can't even remember the lie he told like 30
I feel
seconds
like
ago.
These guys aren't lawyers. They're
They
just
are.
bullies from a short bus.
I don't expect this to happen in this country. You don't expect this to happen to somebody who was the president of the United States. And on the one hand,
he should have towed the presidential line. Should have went to the George W. Bush, Michelle Obama potluck, ate their fucking pocket candies, chuckled with Obama.
He did that before he became president. He was at the Clinton wedding, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, the Clintons were at his wedding.
He donated
rather.
to the Clintons' campaign,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, he definitely voted for Hillary when Hillary ran for the Senate.
My guy should have just towed the line. He'd be able to get away with crimes like all the other presidents did.
Ivanka and Chelsea Clinton were buddies when they were like teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the one hand,
They actually lost their virginity to the same guy.
there's not really any surprises.
Bill?
Barry.
I know there was a lot of talk over the past several weeks. And
That's my name, guys, for those of you that don't know.
What's going to be in
Doxed.
this indictment? It's going to be there that we don't know. There must be something besides what we've been talking about for the past 4 or 5 years. There wasn't. There's nothing. The indictment itself is boilerplate. It doesn't allege any federal crime, any state crime that's been violated. It doesn't allege what the false statement is. And it's really disappointing. It's sad, and we're going to fight it. We're going to fight it hard.
Of course you're going to fight it. He pled not guilty. That's your job, right?
Were you surprised?
They have to be better lawyers than Giuliani, right?
He sounds so... I don't know. I don't know if he just can't pick good lawyers. I don't know what it is. I mean, he hired the one lawyer that turned on him because... Well, he stabbed his lawyer in the back, Cohen.
Yeah.
So he just doesn't have good luck with lawyers, apparently.
He's got to stop getting indicated.
The weirdest thing is that his what do you call it? The opposite of protege. His
the opposite of protege?
Yeah.
Like a young enemy, like a Sith.
What? What the fuck are you talking about?
A protege is someone who like
mentor. Thank you for actually knowing what the fuck
Oh.
I'm talking about. Mentor. Yeah, his mentor was like a lawyer that happened to be
a mentor
gay.
would have a protege.
Right, I'm saying the other side of
See, I thought it was
protege.
like you were grooming an enemy, like a supervillain enemy. That'd be the opposite of a protege in my mind. It was like grooming an enemy.
Okay, cool.
Anything in the indictment?
No.
How about you? Were you surprised?
Yeah, I was surprised there were no facts in there. I mean, normally in an indictment you have alleged facts. So they said that this was a false business record entry to aid and abet another crime without saying what the other crime was.
Can you talk about his?
I like this guy speaking is just as erratic and weird as the other guy, but in a different tone.
When you say what his reaction was, what do you expect his reaction was? I mean, his reaction was exactly what would happen if it happened to anybody that I'm looking at now or anybody that's hearing what you're saying.
You know who these guys are? They're the other bullies that were with Biff in Back to the Future. Trump just hired the other 2 bullies.
He's upset, but I'll tell you what, he's motivated, and it's not going to stop him, and it's not going to slow him down, and it's exactly what he expected, and so to that extent, there's no surprise. But he's also upset and frustrated and disappointed and mad that this happened.
What about the warnings against this?
I feel like almost all lawyers should be pro bono. Like these kind of lawyers, criminal defense lawyers, they still get paid all kind. Like these guys are getting paid 6 figures to represent this case.
Are these just like mob lawyers?
And whether or not they win or not, it doesn't matter. They still get paid.
Do we know who they've represented in the past? These 2 guys?
I don't know.
There was not a warning.
From the judge talking about
the judge did not
threats in
warn. The district attorney made a statement addressing what they perceive to be, I'm not sure what the words they use, inappropriate rhetoric.
I guess there's another defense lawyer that's a woman.
Yeah, she's right there.
Okay, there's. Oh, fuck.
Obviously, we responded, and the judge just took it in. The judge didn't warn. He asked the parties to consider what they're saying and not saying.
Guys, he did not admonish the president, and that's important.
I have to pause because I'm going to say something horrible about this woman if I don't. I need to look at her credentials.
Not requested that the president not use language. He requested that everybody involved
Correct, both parties.
refrain from using language that's inappropriate. And by the way, that includes the witnesses for the people who are talking just
But it
as
also
much as the
includes the
president.
former president swinging a baseball bat at the head of the Manhattan DA.
Well, I don't know where you got that because if
That
you
was a tweet
that
sent
was,
out by the former president.
They said, what was the tweet? They probably mean Truth Social post, but it's just easier to say tweet. Swinging a baseball bat at the head of the district attorney or prosecutor.
It was a tweet sent out by the former president.
No, it wasn't. And first of all, that picture was not him swinging a baseball bat. I mean, if you want to distort the facts, go right ahead. I want to address that. Yes, it is. He wasn't swinging a baseball bat at anyone's head. That was a picture of him showing off an American-made bat.
Where is this?
That was an American-made bat, Ben.
Let me look this up.
He wasn't swinging it. He was showing that he was going to be a Hall
It's a
of Fame
Louisville
president.
Slugger.
Yeah, it's American-made. It's quality lumber. I'm trying to look up about the lawyers here. They're saying that the woman is like the anti-Trump, measured, quiet, and thoughtful. There's a guy named, I'm going to say his name wrong, but I think it's Tacopina.
Yeah, I would say almost definitely that's wrong.
Yeah, it's Joe Tacopina. He can deliver the hard punches in public, and the substantive litigation should be left to Susan and Todd. So Todd is the third lawyer. Todd, what's his last name? Todd Blanche.
Here it is.
Joe Tacopina, Todd Blanche. And Susan Nicheles.
Here's the post that they were referencing there. It does look like, why did he post the picture of the guy who's prosecuting him and then him next to it holding the bat looking at him?
Yeah, not just as the guy he's looking at. Look, he's come up from behind with the bat, and the guy's got his hands up like, please don't hurt me. Please, no, please, Trump, please. And Trump's like, this is an American-made bat and an American-made scowl on my face.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Someone else put a picture of the district attorney next to him, and in an article.
So this is Tacopina right here. This is Joseph Tacopina.
That's not his article. That's not his
Wasn't that on Truth Social? Not using language that incites.
Guys, here's what we're going to talk about today.
We're going to tell you what we're talking about today.
Trump is using his First Amendment and Second Amendment right to put up American-made weapons on his Truth Social page.
We're going to talk about the
If Bragg didn't want no heat, he shouldn't have brought no heat, okay?
And I will say this to you. Today's unsealing of
Tacopina
this indictment
out.
shows that the rule of law died in this country. Because while everyone is not above the law, no one's below it either. And if this man's name was not Donald J. Trump, there is no scenario we'd all be here today. Please understand that based on these charges.
What are we going to give him tonight when he speaks?
When?
You know how many other guys have fucked Stormy Daniels and not got 34 felony charges?
What are we going to give?
She's no spring chicken.
We know.
Horse face.
Can you January? Did you think that was realistic? No. Can you guys talk about? There's a lot of speculation about the unity among the defense attorneys.
Look at this.
There's
Look
a
at
lot
us.
Is that why you chose to do this?
Come
come out
you
together?
come out together?
Yeah.
We chose to come out together so we could speak with one voice, but there is no disunity here. That's gossip and it's nonsense.
And-
We've been working together and we will be working together.
And this, to me, quite frankly, is the best team I've ever worked with, the lawyers. I'm honored to be working with these guys. It's a family, it's a team, and we have one mission, and we'll achieve that mission.
He said the best team he's ever worked with, but then he clarified of lawyers. Do you think maybe he was on the cream team at one point?
He actually he was in the Jackson 5 originally.
He was the white member of the Jackson 5?
Yeah, he was Tito.
What's your next move?
I don't know if you understand. Most of those Jacksons didn't stay.
What about the change of venue?
Tito definitely still around.
Yeah, but they all transitioned to white women, didn't they? Michael did. That Latoya brother did.
The judge set a motion schedule.
Latoya was always a woman.
Oh. 4 months. So that's when we'll be filing motions.
This whole notion about how this is sort of like a novel, or do you?
It's not a notion. It's actually a fact. It's
But talk about that. But like,
there's nothing else to say to the district attorney. This office has existed for decades and decades, and you can find one if you'd like. You'll never see a charge like this ever.
You'll
never see a charge like this ever. No, that's true. We've never seen a charge of 34 felony accounts towards an ex-U.S. president.
Yes.
We haven't seen that ever. It's true.
Never.
That's an undisputable fact.
That is true.
A state prosecutor is prosecuting a federal election law violation that doesn't exist according to federal election law officials. It's as simple as that. You can sum it all up like that.
So this Tacopina guy is an American lawyer, media personality, and professional sports executive. He's representing Trump in the criminal case involving payments made to pornographic film actress Stormy Daniels.
Teddy, you're not spelling it right. You don't spell it P-E-N-Y-A. You spell it P-E-N-A, but there's that little thing above the N.
What is he spelling?
He's spelling Joe Taco Pina, P-E-N-Y-A.
That's not how you spell it either.
No, it's the N with the, like, pina.
It's misrepresentation. It's pina like pineapple, like pina colada.
No, I don't like that.
It's Tacopina, like pina colada.
I don't like that.
What about the change?
You said pina.
Well, I said pina, but it's spelled like pina colada.
Like the Hispanic last name, pina.
Tacopina, like pineapple. Pina colada. You ever had pineapple in your tacos?
Yeah,
it's really
pastor.
good with pork.
Yeah, it's pastor.
That won't happen. And more than us committing, he's committed.
What about the change of venue? A lot.
Posting on social media. Have you given him?
We're not having any discussion about what we told her.
What about the change of venue? Just answer this question about the change of venue. There's a lot of.
It's premature.
Right. So why is he talking about that? Why is he trying to move this to a place like Staten Island?
Once again, we're 3 lawyers here to litigate and fight this case. We're not PR consultants. We're not social media consultants.
Well, you got a problem then, because you need PR consultants.
Donald Trump has made one hell of a brand and became president of the United States with his social media and posts and everything else, his messages. We are here to talk about the case and litigate cases. We can't address what he posts or what he wants to post or did post.
But as his attorneys, have you told him to stop posting this rhetoric,
So
these
what I
messages
said
about
before
the judge?
was we can't, literally, we can't tell you what we've discussed with
No,
our
I
clients.
understand, but
So
are
that's
you
the answer.
concerned that he's continuing to
Not
go
concerned
after
at
the
all.
judge, talking about the judge's wife?
They're concerned about what he's going to... Yes, they are concerned.
They're shook.
Talking about the family. I mean, are you? I mean,
I don't think
any
the judge
other
was concerned about it.
Yeah, but any other defendant, wouldn't you be like?
Any other defendant wouldn't be here
He's
today.
not going after the judge. He is not going after the judge. He commented that he thought that there were some issues that may cause a conflict. That's not going after the judge. He is not threatening the judge. He is not going after the judge.
He's going after
Now,
the
the
judge.
Tacopina guy, according to FoxNews.com, Tacopina, they say he's the guy that can deliver the hard punches in public, and the substantive litigation should be left to Susan and Todd. Susan and Todd, they're definitely not as outspoken as Tacopina is here. So I could see him being like the figurehead, the mouth of the media. He's going to try and curb the story in the public eye, public opinion as much as possible. And these other two, they have to be good lawyers because they're kind of ghoulish.
DA, he is angry because the DA has brought a case that is unjustified. And so I'm not going to comment on it. You may disagree with the way he spoke,
Can
but
you talk
he is
about the
angry.
process? Was he fingerprinted? Was there a
I'm not going to talk about
Was
it.
there a
In fact, I think thank you for your attention. But we're gonna move on.
Yeah, as far as I know, there was no mugshot, which if any one of us would have been arrested for something like this, there would have been a mugshot. There would have been handcuffs.
What is his message? Thank you very much, counselors.
Just been listening to the defense attorneys for the former president. CNN's Paula Reed is also at court. Paula, you've
Engaging.
All right, so here is Alvin Bragg, the district attorney that
The
prosecuted
victim
Trump.
of that baseball bat attack from Donald Trump.
And now let's hear from the Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg.
Here today. Earlier this afternoon, Donald Trump was arraigned on a New York Supreme Court indictment returned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Under New York state law, it is a felony to falsify business records with intent to defraud and an intent to conceal another crime.
That scene, because it was to commit another crime. Now, because the other crime was a federal crime, that's the loophole they're trying to play. Like, well, the other crime that you claim he was trying to conceal was a federal election crime, but it's not that specific. It just says with intent to conceal another crime, any other crime.
That is exactly what this case is about. 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct. The defendant repeatedly made false statements on New York business records. He also caused others to make false statements. The defendant claimed that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. This simply was not true. And it was a false statement that the defendant made month after
The legal services was him, like, paying hush money to people.
Month in 2017.
It's also Karen McDougal, too. Like, they named Stormy Daniels a lot, and I think it's because it's a little more sensationalist to keep mentioning her since she's the porn star and everything. But there was also Karen McDougal, who was like a Playboy playmate, who also dated Bruce Willis, by the way. I was doing some research on her thing with Trump, and I found photos of her like in a hot tub with Bruce Willis.
I've actually found that hot women that date celebrities date multiple celebrities.
Yeah. Nope.
April, May, June, and so on through the rest of the year. For
Funny how
9
Trump might have actually drained the swamp, except he never thought that he'd be the first bullfrog to croak. Now get the rest of him.
He lived in the swamp. He existed and thrived in the swamp. So, yeah, he had to expect that when he drained it, it would drain around him, too.
Do you think Karen McDougal's got bad pussy?
No.
All these people she's been with are having a heck of a time these days.
Trump spent a huge amount of his career, when it was mainly real estate focused, kind of pressuring the government to be more lax on building codes and other regulations so he could build cheaper buildings in places. So that should be an indication, if any, that he was neck deep in the swamp.
Wasn't his like early mentor a crazy slumlord?
That's what I was trying. No, well, yeah. I was just trying to talk about that earlier, and we got into some weird thing that I didn't know, so I just dropped it. But yes, that's what
Look, that's why you can never drop things. I never drop anything.
Okay.
straight months, the defendant held documents in his hand containing this key lie, that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. And he personally signed checks for payments to Michael Cohen for each of these 9 months. In total, the grand jury found there were 34 documents with this critical false statement. Why did Donald Trump repeatedly make these false statements?
Ayo, your mom, gracie. That gets us to 6% of the goal. So all these 34 counts are covering up lies. They're covering up lies in similar ways. If they can prove one of the counts to be like misattributed, then maybe all 34 will drop as well because they're all in the vein, is what he's saying?
The charge is that he paid money to defraud. He lied about paying hush money for the reasons of protecting himself from information getting out that would have ruined his chances at becoming president. That's the claim.
Yeah, but they're all like the same 34 charges, right?
Yep.
So if one of them kind of gets proved wrong, they all kind of get proved wrong.
How would it get proved wrong?
Well, if he can like say like, I wasn't under the understanding that I was lying.
That sounds like something coming out of your brain.
I thought if he without a shadow of a doubt, if he could show that he wasn't clear himself, if there was too much red tape.
There's already evidence that he told Cohen to do that, for that specific purpose.
Yeah,
and it was done during the time frame right before the election. It still got out and he still won anyway, but he's being charged with covering up that information.
It's great how the Republicans wanted to impeach Bill Clinton.
They did.
Yeah, they wanted him out of the White House. They impeached Bill Clinton because he did some sex with Monica Lewinsky. And before Trump even gets elected, the Republican base is like, no, it's cool if you have a sex scandal with a porn star. We still want you. That's like how crazy the tables have turned with the Republican Party.
Yeah, that was so long ago. But yeah, if it had happened the other way around, like if it had turned out Biden had paid some porn star that he fucked to keep her mouth shut, they'd be doing the opposite of what they're doing now. It would be completely flipped. That speaks to the overall integrity issue that you see in Washington.
Yeah, Hell's Only says ignorance of the law is not a defense.
It's not.
And of course it's not a defense, but a lawyer will argue so many different things. And if all 34 charges are similar types of charges, as Bragg just said, it seems like they don't have to defend every single charge. They just have to show that there was some sort of miscommunication, possibly. I'm trying to speculate what these lawyers are going to do to defend Trump. Where are they going to go?
They get, like I was saying earlier, they get paid no matter what. So
they're going to want to win, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, they still want to win, but they can only work with what they've got, and they're denying. As far as I know, Trump is denying that it happened at all. Still. So
evidence will show that he did so to cover up crimes relating to the 2016 election. Donald Trump, executives at the publishing company American Media Incorporated, Mr. Cohen, and others agreed in 2015 to a catch and kill scheme. That is, a scheme to buy and suppress negative information to help Mr. Trump's chance of winning the election. As part of this scheme, Donald Trump and others made 3 payments to people who claimed to have negative information about Mr. Trump. To make these payments, they set up shell companies, and they made
so setting up the shell companies and making the payments and making them look as if there's something else and hiding the true nature of the payments, that's the misdemeanor crime. And then the thing that makes it a felony is that it was to cover up another crime. So he could very well walk from this, but that's what they're saying.
What are good shell companies that could be set up? I'm thinking about setting up some shell companies myself.
Car washes and nail salons.
More false statements, including, for example, in
Massage
AMI,
parlors.
American Media Incorporated's business records. One of the 3 people that they paid to keep quiet was a woman named Stormy Daniels. Less than 2 weeks before the presidential election, Michael Cohen wired $130,000.
They never mentioned Karen McDougal. Karen McDougal just seems like a kind of like a more. I think she might have been like Playmate of the Year back then and shit. I don't. And it seemed like she actually genuinely
Is Karen
wanted to
McDougal one of these 34?
Yeah, I mean,
she's
either part of the. Yeah, I believe so. I believe
Stormy
so.
Daniels' lawyer. That payment.
He said 3 individuals, and one of them, but they always mention Stormy Daniels by name. They don't mention the other ones by name all the time.
Was to hide damaging information from the voting public. The participant scheme was illegal. The scheme violated New York election law, which makes it a crime to conspire.
So Frederick Marks says there is no crime actually committed, but we just heard from D'Lo Brown here.
This
that
isn't the only indictment. They still have the racketeering charges coming from Georgia coming soon.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say this is not the only indictment until the other indictment comes. It could never come. Like, Egghead, you're getting way ahead of yourself.
You're looking at the real deal now. Says that they have election laws being broken. So who's right, D'Lo Brown or Frederick Marks in the chat?
To promote a candidacy by unlawful means. The $130,000 wire payment exceeded the federal campaign contribution cap, and the false statements in AMI's books violated New York law. That is why Mr. Trump made false statements about his payments to Mr. Cohen. He could not simply say that the payments were a reimbursement for Mr. Cohen's payments to Stormy Daniels.
Was he about to say
Sandy Hook?
What? No. Ben, we have to walk away from this one. We don't have $1 trillion to lose.
Okay.
We did not hear what we thought we heard.
Well, if I heard it, it has nothing to do with me.
To do so,
Exactly.
to make that true statement, would have been to admit a crime. So instead, Mr. Trump said that he was paying Mr. Cohen for fictitious legal services in 2017 to cover up actual crime committed the prior year.
Yeah, so he was like writing them off as legal expenses.
And in order to get Michael Cohen his money back, they planned one last false statement. In order to complete the scheme, they planned to mischaracterize the repayments to Mr. Cohen as income to the New York State tax authorities.
Wow.
The conduct I just described and that which was charged by the grand jury is felony criminal conduct in New York State. True and accurate business records are important everywhere, to be sure. They are all the more important in Manhattan, the financial center of the world. That is why we have a history in the Manhattan DA's office of vigorously enforcing white-collar crime. My office, including the talented prosecutors you saw at arraignment earlier today, has charged hundreds of felony falsifying business records. This charge, it can be said, is the bread and butter of our white-collar work.
Let's check out, I found this interesting because it's the former governor of Ohio that was an establishment Republican, but he didn't like Trump, so he kind of turned against, I think he might even supported Biden. I believe so. I think he did like campaign for Biden. He makes a good point in this interview, though, and kind of like flusters the woman that's interviewing him.
I want to talk about this with former Ohio Governor John Kasich, an MSNBC political analyst. You ran against Donald Trump briefly in 2016. You're a governor, a former congressman. You know this whole, political landscape.
She's so good with words.
How long is this going to last?
She gets really flustered because he calls out how like there's bigger things happening in the world, but they're like covering like Trump's airplane like parked at the airport not doing shit for like 2 hours when there's other more important stuff to be talking about.
Like
And
the
she's
Barbie
kinda
movie
like,
trailer?
What if there's indictment after indictment? Does he build on the victimization? Does it help him even more with the primary voters?
Yeah. I think, Andrea, in this case, there are a lot of Republicans that say, is this really a legitimate and fair charge? And frankly, you know, no one is above the law, but what would be interesting to find out is how's everybody else been treated, because a public figure shouldn't have more scrutiny than anybody else. So a lot of Republicans are like, you know, this is really political. And I talked to some folks this morning in the gym.
Oh my God.
They're like, we wish he'd...
I watched this earlier, and there's a part that I kind of found funny from this shot right here. There's a dude that comes like kind of like walking down the street, and then he noticed the cameras there.
Just go away.
It's great.
But look,
I'll let you know when he comes out.
When you look at Georgia, and there isn't anybody, no Republican or Democrat that's knowledgeable, that doesn't look at the Georgia grand jury or the documents case, which seems to be percolating even more. I mean, I think that just works. I think that's kind of the end of it. I mean, I suppose Republicans...
All right, it's this guy that just walked out. The guy in the background there.
He's like, oh shit, I just walked out of Trump Tower.
And we see how the trial goes, right? You have to see what happens.
He's talking to this cop for a second here, and then he looks at the camera. He's like, oh.
So he gets caught talking to a cop and walking out of Trump Tower? This does not look good on him.
With the prosecutor. And, you know, how does Trump handle himself today?
Watch.
I noticed, Andrea, that some of the Republican support has slipped from him. He's still up there at 80%, but it's not like the 90-some.
Looks like this camera is really far away.
And the country itself says...
I like how this Ohio governor, what's his name?
John
Kasich.
Yeah.
He's over here saying, this really shouldn't be a news item. This is unprecedented history.
Yeah.
Whether or not you like Trump or believe he's innocent or hate Trump and believe he's guilty, this is news.
He definitely hates Trump. I think he kind of clarifies that it's weird that how much of the news gets taken up with it when there's nothing going on, though. Like they'll have, like I said, Trump's airplane not doing shit for like an hour live.
And should go forward.
I watched 4 days of news that was all about Anna Nicole Smith dying.
Yeah, that's... Yeah,
but I suspect that if, in fact, Atlanta, Georgia comes back on the vote pressure scheme or either the document case, I think that's going to be too much water for him to take. But, you know, he's like the master of escape, and we just have to wait and see. But here's what I do know. There's no way the guy's going to be president, because there's no way these independent voters and Republicans who are sort of normal people, who are the traditional Republicans. Let me say that. I don't want to call anybody abnormal, but
you did though just now. But I think it's funny.
Traditional
Trump
Republicans
really out here trying to pull a Jerry Springer, and we all know how that ended. So
he should pull a Jerry Seinfeld instead.
There is no way in a million years that those people are going to vote for him. So my view is he'll never be president, and you know, it's a pathetic day. You know, the other thing I want to say, Andrea, is I watched yesterday, you know, these cars coming out of Mar-a-Lago. We got to put the cameras on, 9 cars coming out. Then we show the airport. Then we show the plane. It's like reminds me, I had a flashback. It was like the old empty podium. I mean, we've got to it's ridiculous, you know. It's not that interesting. There's more interesting things happening, but somehow I guess we're fixated on it.
And then she kind of defends this type of journalism.
I'd say name some. What's more interesting?
I would just say that the empty podium was to bring people into a speech, and arguably, while showing the cars, we were all doing interviews. I was interviewing Asa Hutchinson, saying that he should get out of the race. So that was not exactly the same as saying, you know, tune in, stand by. We're going to have him speak momentarily on an historic day, just to point out. Chris?
Yeah, this is Governor. It's Chris Jansing, and you and I have talked about this quite a bit over the last week or so.
Here's another thing. I don't think this guy understands how news works. He's old school Ohio Republican governor. He said governor?
He was the governor of Ohio for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know how news works in Ohio. But here in the United States...
No one in Ohio says Ohio.
If you turn on MSNBC and they're not talking about the Trump arrest, you're going to turn to another channel. And you're going to go there until they talk about it. Because this is the news. They can't clip over really quick and be like, oh, and here's an update from Sparky the Wonder Pup. It's not going to happen.
So this is America, but it's also one that President Trump believes
all
he can
weird
turn into
here.
a good day for himself. We've discussed the fact that he's raised a lot of money. But I want to ask you about places like Ohio, which you know so well. It's a state where Trump beat Biden 53 to 45%. And so, look, I mean,
by the way,
Yeah, this was uploaded to their YouTube channel, but it has like these weird skips
where
in
I
it.
smashed him in the primary.
Smashed
I beat
him in the
by
primary.
a couple 100,000 votes. But so I do understand the state.
Oh, my bad, dude. I forgot you smashed him in the primary. You go, Glenn Coco.
Understand it. And I would also argue, maybe based partly on my family and friends back in Ohio, that those traditional people you talk about, well, many of them are following this with rapt attention. Other people have lives to live. So I wonder if your overall sense is that there is an exhaustion from Donald Trump by many of his voters, or is it more defiance? What are you feeling in your state?
I think there's a lot of exhaustion.
There's a city in Ohio called Defiance.
And even people who are supporting him at this moment, thinking that this is some political deal, they're exhausted. Now, his core base, he can do just about anything, and they hang with him. But I think there is a level of exhaustion. Andrea asked the good question about this, but when you
let's listen to some Fox News opinion on this. It's Tomi Lahren. Remember her?
Oh yeah, I like the idea that Biden is so much better than Trump. Like, it's as far as like people coming out to vote.
I think he's better overall.
I mean, I think he's a way better politician. I think that he's been working bipartisan both sides for 30, 40 years, right? 45 years. He's been doing it since the mid-70s, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy is a professional politician, but as a president, I'm not excited for Biden either.
Not excited for him.
Does Biden have a people like Trump? Trump has a huge following that is crazy excited for him. Biden has anti-Trumpers. That's about it.
Yep.
Nobody's crazy for Biden.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't need people to be crazy for him. I just need him to be better.
Well, we'll see how that works when it comes to the voting time. There's going to be a huge amount of people.
I don't even think Trump will win. I don't think he'll get the nomination.
I don't know.
Here's Tomi Lahren.
We're just hours away from the unprecedented arraignment of former President Trump here in New York City. And critics are calling DA Alvin Bragg's case a weaponization of the law, but President Biden isn't worried.
I love his. Yes. He doesn't even really want to talk about it, but he gave like a few quick responses.
Meantime, the Trump presidential campaign is getting a record-setting boost in his bid to take back the White House, raising over $8 million in the 4 days since the indictment.
Outkick host Tomi Lahren joins us.
Yeah, how much of that is he going to pocket and pretend like he used for his campaign?
Tomi, do you share Joe Biden's faith in the legal system to treat Donald Trump fairly?
Well, unfortunately, this legal system has a history of treating Donald Trump unfairly, but I think Joe should tread very lightly and be very careful with the justice system in general, given the fact that Hunter Biden, his son, and of course he himself, the big guy, they have numerous investigations by House Republicans going on into their business dealings. So I hope that he is singing the same tune when House Republicans conclude with their investigations. But really what this is such pompous narcissism from the White House yet again, and it's really quite pathetic when you think about it.
I love the pictures they choose. Like both or all of the networks, depending on their slant, will pick the photos, the like still screenshots of the people they don't like looking dumb or
that the
weird.
Democrat machine has to come in and pinch hit for Joe Biden yet again because they know that he cannot win an election alone in 2024. So they have to go after his leading opponent yet again with some sham charges, this BS indictment. Of course,
that
Joe
is all Biden has. He needs this enemy. He needs this opposite of a protege. This villain.
About it. He has to do less work in 2024,
This
but
Sith
he
Lord
is
Trump.
grossly underestimating Donald Trump, and most importantly, Trump
Nemesis.
supporters.
That's
as
the
we
word
are
I was
seeing from
thinking
these
of.
fundraising totals already, guys.
So, Tomi, how do you think this is going to play
I think Nemesis the opposite of that would be an ally, not really a protege.
into the presidential campaign for Trump?
Well, listen, we still don't have an announcement from Ron DeSantis, so anything can happen in the coming months. But I will say this indictment is one of the best things that could happen to the Trump campaign because it's waking Americans up to understand they continually go after this man, and they go after him for a reason because he is what's standing between this weaponization of the justice system, the swamp, and average everyday Americans. And this is going to be symbolic what happens in a few hours because a lot of Americans don't feel like this is just happening to Donald Trump. They feel like it's happening to them.
That's like the rally call right there. This could be you. They're coming for Trump first, then they're coming for you next.
That's exactly what they've been selling it as, the witch hunt. Trump is going to play that he's the canary in the coal mine, and he's going to get all the people who were begging Biden for incarceration reform. He's going to pick up a lot of these people because they're going to think he's going to have more of an interest in incarceration reform because he's on the line to be incarcerated.
Symbolically, and they know that this man has been fighting for America first for years, and they know that this system would not be going after him if not for the fact that he was fighting for these forgotten Americans. So what happens in the coming hours, I think you're going to see a lot of Americans putting those MAGA hats back on, and it's going to make for a very interesting primary season.
I'm Steve Duke.
All right, here's one. I think this was from Fox Business. George Soros trying to distance himself from DA Alvin Bragg.
Oh, wow.
Alvin Bragg is standing by his decision to indict Donald Trump. Now, George Soros is trying to distance himself from the Manhattan DA.
Is that George Soros in the cap next to Alvin Bragg?
George, that's a black guy.
Donald Trump, and I did not speak, for I was not Donald Trump.
George Soros is like a 90-year-old Jewish guy.
Yeah, I'd never seen Don Lemon or George Soros before, so I don't really know.
I've never seen George Soros actually really say anything. Anytime I ever hear about him is from some right-wing person just attributing something they don't like to him.
I keep getting these checks from him, and I don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah. The New York Supreme Court. Right, Lydia, tell us, what are the ties between Alvin Bragg and George Soros?
Money, Stuart, huge political donations from George Soros and his family members that have supported Alvin Bragg and his ability to get into the office of district attorney here in Manhattan. Now, George Soros has been public in his support of local district attorneys that seek to reform criminal justice through, for example, prioritizing mental health and job programs. Another campaign promise from Alvin Bragg.
There's Soros.
Prosecuting the former president, Donald Trump, which conservatives have been quick to call out. Watch.
These are political plants. These are people who are only being supported with, $40 million in the case of Alvin Bragg, $1 million from George Soros, only because of a promise that if you're in this position, you will pursue political prosecution of our opponents, those on the right.
Can you say that 3 times fast?
How many P's were in there?
Now, Stuart, it's true. Soros donated $1 million, but not to Bragg directly. That money was funneled through a political action committee that was committed to getting Bragg into office. But like we said...
Yeah, that happens everywhere. Super rich people fund political action committees that put money into campaigns for candidates that support their agenda. We just need total election reform because we even have foreign governments that pump money into these political action committees that try to influence how American elections turn out.
The support of Bragg extends through the Soros family. Soros' son and his daughter-in-law contributed tens of thousands of dollars directly to Bragg. Now, in the wake of this indictment of the former president, Donald Trump, it's interesting to see that Soros appears to be distancing himself from Alvin Bragg, saying he's never met Bragg, and also saying that he's never donated to his campaign directly. But as we said, we know he made significant donations in the amount of $1 million to his political action committee supporting Bragg. Story.
So to a political action committee supporting Bragg
and many other candidates that.
But he said he never. He said he never donated directly.
Yeah.
And they said, but we know he donated to a campaign that supported Bragg. And it's like, wait a second. He just said it wasn't directly. You know that he donated not directly to him.
Right.
And he says he never met Bragg before. That picture of Bragg had some guy in a hat next to him. That was not George Soros, according to you. And then also the picture of George Soros we saw later looked nothing like that guy in the hat. So what is Fox trying to prove here, Fox Business?
that he donated money to political action committees, which he's known for because he's a super rich guy.
Yeah,
that's
$1 million
super
to a
left.
political action committee that also supported Bragg. So not directly to Bragg.
And probably supported a bunch of other candidates that are against Trump.
And from what we know, George Soros and Bragg do not kick it.
No.
They're not homies.
I do not believe so.
They
no.
don't go to the fucking Trump Tower for taco salad together.
Nope.
Indirectly
What the fuck?
contributed to it. Lydia Hu, thank you very much.
Here's
Frederick Marx says, I didn't directly punch you. I just paid my mate to do it. Why blame me? See, Frederick Marx, I got to ask if you're a bad faith actor here. Because he said he didn't directly give money to Bragg, and they said he gave money to an action committee that supported Bragg and others. So that would be like saying, I didn't punch you. I hired the mob to run out and punch everybody, and you got hit by one of them. I guess that's fair. But he didn't directly send Bragg out with a punch to Trump's face. Frederick Marx, you are a bad faith actor this entire time. I've been looking to you in the chat, Frederick, as a voice of reason, a voice of discernment on the other side, because I don't want to be that liberal that doesn't give the voice to the voiceless. And what do? You spit in my fucking face. Fuck you, Frederick Marx. You fucking weasel.
Here's George Santos showing up to support Trump. You know, George Santos, the guy that lied about everything and got elected. He's still in Congress.
Let's go. Make some room. Make some room.
Oh, my God. You're like the best liar ever.
Is he pretending to be blind now, too?
You guys got to clear a path.
I'll make room. I'll make room.
You guys.
I love how he claimed that he was like a star volleyball player. He got like a volleyball scholarship in college and like won the like national championship or something. It's like there would be a record of that. You got to lie about things that there's no record of. Like
it's funny that he's got that history as a drag queen.
Yeah.
Well,
he denies that.
Well, there's a lot of evidence.
The pretty lady in the photo looked a lot like
And not only
him.
that, there's a lot of evidence to tie him to that area and time period.
Yeah, he lived
and
in
the connection
Brazil.
of people that know that's him, that have said it was him.
You guys got to make room. You guys got to make room. This is a fire hazard. Come on.
They'll let him into the Library of Congress, but they won't let him read story time at the public library.
Good idea, George. Good idea.
All right. Here's a little bit of Trump's post-indictment, post-arraignment speech at Mar-a-Lago. It's a beautiful ballroom.
I do like that design of a ballroom wall.
You know, the one that I watched earlier was from like a further angle, and you could see it. There was like crazy crystal chandeliers and like these huge windows with these huge curtains. Mar-a-Lago looks like a nice place.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Speaking of ballroom, though, one second. Sorry, my sack was bunched up.
Thank you very much, everybody. We have to save our country. God bless you all. God bless you all. And I never thought anything like this could happen in America. Never thought it could happen.
I always thought I'd get away with everything.
Never thought I could go plead not guilty and be back home in no time.
Yeah, most people know.
The only crime that I have committed is to...
Remember when Trump got COVID after so nonchalantly talking shit about Biden wearing his mask all the time?
Literally the day after it came out. He had COVID while he was talking shit to him
and he
about
had
it.
the most privilege to get through COVID with like expensive, top-rate presidential hospital treatment.
Yep. He got airlifted.
And now he's gotten himself into some legal shit. Not health shit. This time it's legal shit. And he's getting airlifted in and out the #1 presidential fucking treatment.
Yep.
The fuck? This is privilege, ladies and gentlemen.
Those who seek to destroy it. From the beginning, the Democrats spied on my campaign. Remember that?
They spied on his campaign. I don't even know what he means
They
there.
attacked me with an onslaught of fraudulent investigations. Russia, Russia, Russia. Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Impeachment hoax number 1. Impeachment hoax number 2.
The quickening.
The illegal and unconstitutional raid on Mar-a-Lago, right here. They're lying to the FISA courts.
The raid on Mar-a-Lago also had nothing to do with these charges. That was something else completely.
Those
that
are
Trump
different potential charges. Those are other things he might potentially be
I
charged
never
for.
thought anything as horrible as me being held accountable for my actions could happen in America.
I definitely could tell you after 40 whatever years Trump was in the public eye, he definitely didn't think that.
And DOJ relentlessly pursuing Republicans. The unconstitutional changes to election laws by not getting approvals from state legislators. The millions of votes.
Millions.
illegally
Yeah, isn't it funny? He's already on to the bad election fraud claims. He's already there.
stuffed into ballot boxes.
This was literally like a conference he was having. It was invite only, by the way, it wasn't open to the public. And he was supposed to talk about these charges against him, and he's already off on his usual shtick.
And all caught on government cameras.
He even has his teleprompters there next to him.
And just recently, the FBI and DOJ in collusion with Twitter and Facebook in order not to say anything bad about the Hunter Biden laptop from hell, which exposes the Biden family as criminals and which, according to the pollsters, would have made a 17-point difference in the election result. And we needed a lot less than that.
I've heard the laptop defense with Hunter Biden's laptop defense being defended that it was revenge porn, and that's why they were ordered not to share it.
I have no idea.
Because it was pornography clips of Hunter Biden and
some of it
various
is.
women that they did not consent to getting out, and they don't put up revenge porn. They don't allow revenge porn on Twitter. It's illegal. So that was why it was taken down.
18.9. It would have been in our favor, not my favor, our favor, because our country is going to hell. And we remember the 51 intelligence agents who said Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. It didn't exist. It was Russian disinformation. Remember that? And that was all
I wonder
confirmed.
if on the way back, his lawyers were like, hey, when you get back, just talk about all the other stuff. Don't talk about the thing you were just charged for.
Maybe.
Because he can talk about all the other stuff all he wants right now. He's not actually in trouble for that at this point.
Strongly by the FBI when they all knew that it wasn't Russian disinformation. And so much more. Our elections were like those of a third world country. And now this massive election interference at a scale never seen before in our country, beginning with the radical left, George Soros-backed prosecutor Alvin Bragg of New York, who campaigned on the fact that he would get President Trump. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. This is a guy campaigning. He wanted to get President Trump at any cost, and this before he knew anything about me, didn't know a thing about me. He was campaigning.
I mean, I'm sure he knew about you, right? He was a district attorney or campaigning to be district attorney in New York City. I don't think you can grow up in New York City and not know who Donald Trump is. Your name's on all these buildings.
As it turns out,
you were on a very popular reality TV show 10 years ago.
Virtually everybody that has looked at this case, including rhinos and even hardcore Democrats.
I remember the Trump board game. There was a Trump board game.
What was that
back
like?
in the day.
Don't Wake Daddy?
I bet you I can find a commercial for
Say
it.
there is no
I would love
crime
to see that.
and that it should never have been brought.
I keep seeing people say that Trump was not charged. The DA didn't actually charge Trump with any felonies.
That's not true.
I
He was
thought-
charged with felonies.
I keep seeing people bring this up, and We just watched Bragg talk about them.
He was charged with felonies. They were felony charges.
Don't give money to politicians. Spend it on what counts. Tip. Try.
Tip train! Thank you, Frank and Biggie. It's exactly true. Yeah, SV Vagabond says DA literally didn't state a crime for the felony. But I thought we saw
The
Bragg
crime-
talk about it.
Why are we talking to these people? Who is this person?
Was people who are multiple people saying that there was no crime for the felony.
Okay, we should ignore them because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
We have to teach them, or
No.
else we look like the
I'm not going to
ignorant
talk
ones.
to randos in the chat.
We have to
Even
stomp
people
out
that
the naysayers.
aren't big fans have said it. They said this is not the right thing to do. It's an insult to our country as the world is already laughing at us for so many other reasons, like our open borders, our incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan, where we left behind American citizens, $85 billion worth of the best military equipment in the world, lost 13 magnificent young lives, and far too many to mention that are so badly hurt with the loss of arms and legs and facial obliteration.
You hear that? That sounds like the name of a porn movie.
Facial obliteration?
Right?
I mean,
Volume 5?
I wouldn't watch that porn.
Yes, you would.
I might film it. Would Billy eat a Trump steak? Yeah, but not the way Trump would prepare it.
I wouldn't eat them now because they've been out of business for a while. So if you get one, it's not going to look too good.
Is the inevitable Donald Trump movie going to be called The Trump Steak Redemption?
How about a cheesesteak cheesecake?
Did he sell those?
No, I just came up with that idea just now.
I think, and I could be wrong, you haven't been the first person to bring up a cheesesteak. But Philadelphia is famous for their cheesesteaks and the cream cheese, which goes heavily into a cheesecake.
Yeah, cheesecake cheesesteak.
I wonder if they have those.
A savory cheesecake that is also a cheesesteak.
Give up on energy independence and even energy dominance.
Who the fuck buys a steak at a furniture store?
Yeah, that is the weird thing. It was the sharper image, so it was almost like Brookstone, almost. You know, all these weird like massage chairs and all kinds of stuff that you never needed, but you see it and you're like, oh, I want that.
6 months, more than any other nation, times 2.
He goes through all this nonsense. He does the typical Trump thing. He hardly addresses anything else. Here's the commercial for the Trump board game.
Everything's set for tonight, Mr. Trump. I wonder what Trump's game is this time. Trump's got a new game. Trump's got a new deal. What's your game, Donald? Heard about Trump's new deal? What? Trump has a new game. What is it? Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump.
That's literally where a lot of this shit was filmed today outside Trump Tower.
That's the building the guy walked out of before he realized he got caught walking out of Trump Tower and talking to a cop.
He probably works at Trump Tower, the way he was dressed and everything.
Or he stopped to get a delicious taco
My new
salad.
game is Trump, the game. Trump, the game where you deal for everything you've ever wanted to own. Because it's not whether you win or lose, it's whether you win. Yes! Play Trump, the game.
So it's Monopoly?
Kind of.
We took Monopoly and we made it a little shittier and put my face on it. Buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's put his name on so many different products. It kind of used to like the Trump name used to be synonymous with success, like in the 80s and early 90s. And then it kind of, I think The Apprentice is where the facade kind of came down in many ways.
I think with The Apprentice, though, America still loved Trump.
Yes.
There was starting to get the divide where it's like
the birther stuff.
Well, the birther stuff was one thing, but you really started to get the divide when he went against Rosie O'Donnell. It's like, what type of person?
I laughed at that.
What type of person are you? Are you the type of person that likes big, mean, billionaire bullies or fat, ugly lesbian bullies?
I don't like either of them.
I don't think she's ugly.
You ever seen Exit to Eden?
Yeah. When I was a little kid,
she was in good shape in that movie.
when I was a little kid, it gave me an awkward boner.
Oh yeah, the BDSM Rosie
Yeah, because
O'Donnell.
I've never seen that on like a hot girl, so I thought that was hot. I was like, oh yeah, look at Rosie, look at Betty fucking Rebel, and that, by the way, is probably the rudest thing you could do. Is
Betty
make-
Rebel was
is
supposed to
make-
be the hot cartoon
She was
chick.
the hot one, and you give us Rosie O'Donnell.
So, for those of you who are not wrestling fans, you might want to know WrestleMania happened this past weekend, and there was this huge match where the top heel went up, who's been the champion for a long time. The top bad guy went against the top fan favorite babyface, and most people were pretty sure the good guy was going to win, but he didn't. And here's a video of some guy flipping the fuck out, having like a breakdown.
Yes.
I think this might be Egghead. No, it's not. He's so mad. Yeah, and me and Billy were talking about this. I think it was during one of the pre-shows. That I hoped that it would have ended up this way, like a dirty finish where Cody lost, because I hate it when they do the most predictable thing possible. So I'm glad they did this, and they should give it to him down the road, like maybe at the next major pay-per-view, which is what, SummerSlam?
I think they should have Roman Reigns hold the title for like 10 whole years.
You want to make him the new Bruno?
Yeah, because
he's young enough where he could.
One of the benefits,
but I don't like.
One of the
that
benefits
idea.
of this is we get all these different face wrestlers who have to be built up as legitimate threats. Cody was a legitimate threat. Sami Zayn was a legitimate threat.
Heel champions don't normally last that long. Like, I think the longest reigning one I can think of was Hogan in WCW as the heel champion for a long time.
That's what makes this great, though, because Roman Reigns is really good at what he does, and if we're getting actual opposition that gets built up the way these guys are getting built up, we're going to get a myriad of guys that become top-tier guys because they're put up in a way that you could believe they could win.
I don't see that happening, especially with the new management, which we're about to get into. I'm thinking Cody will probably get it at SummerSlam, but we'll see. They might take him out of the title picture altogether. Here's so the company that owns UFC has purchased the majority of the controlling interest in WWE. They did it. The announcement was made yesterday. Vince McMahon looks like Clark Gable now. He had like a makeover where he dyed his hair and grew a mustache. He looks creepy. He looks like if he wasn't wearing like a $5,000 suit and he was just wearing some like hobo trash. Thank you for interrupting me, Egghead.
Morale's 1,027 days. Then
Yeah, we know
SummerSlam,
this.
In my opinion.
It's Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40 versus The Rock, and he's going to beat The Rock too. He's at least 4 years, at least.
Thank you, Egghead. Yeah, here's.
But the Clark Gable look for Vince McMahon is actually
Do you
really
think it looks
smart.
good? It looks creepy. He looks like the creep,
but
almost like John Waters.
It's smart because if in Clark Gable's day, Vince McMahon's accusations would have been nothing.
Well, Vince McMahon probably grew up thinking Clark Gable was a pretty awesome actor because Vince is that old, you know?
He's just a hot old man.
Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel and WWE founder
Ari
Vince
Emanuel
McMahon. How
is
this
the brother of Rahm Emanuel.
Yep.
He was the
He worked
Ari
for
Gold
Obama.
from Entourage was based on Ari Emanuel.
all happened during our exclusive interview on Sunday in Los Angeles.
This
I love it.
The biggest thing Ari Emanuel and Vince McMahon have ever done.
There's been some Botox delivered. I think Vince had his midlife crisis very late in life. I think he's having it now because of all the shit that happened. Like he was kind of like Trump. He was like titanium. Like he went to federal court and just like beat that shit like it was nothing. And he finally like got in trouble for something. Granted, it wasn't criminal, but he got fired essentially for a short time. and he like changed his look and sold the company, and I don't know.
Combining forces like this there's nothing like this. There's never been anything like this. People have been talking about this for a long time.
There were a lot of other suitors
Sure they
here.
were, you know,
He's
but
like, yeah,
Ari
no, I
really-
actually started dressing like Walt Disney so I could sell the mouse, but now that I sold the Ari here, I could shave my fucking stash off.
I'm gonna make pink flamingos too.
The synergies, everyone was very interested in us, and I appreciate that.
It's like the last time I saw Vince, he had like perfectly like white hair. So you know this is a crazy dye job. You know the weird pencil mustache is dyed too.
I wonder if him and Linda are in a bad place, and he's just been going out.
They've never
eating
been
so
in-
much ass.
This like those two are like Bill and Hillary. It's like a business marriage at this point.
But this is the look of a guy who's going out and hunting for
He
ass.
probably is. He probably is.
Eating ass.
He probably is.
But the synergies that Ari brings, totally different than everyone else.
That said, many doubted we would ever see this day, that you would ever be willing to sell a controlling stake in your company. You are the WWE.
Sell
and
a
the
Trump
WWE
stake?
is you. So why?
It's the right time. It's the right time to do the right thing. And it's the next evolution of WWE. I could probably do what Ari is right now with UFC. It'd take me 10 years, you know. By the time
You think you got 10 years left?
would grab those 10 years, he'll be 10 years ahead again. So it's like, it makes all the sense in the world for all these synergies that we have, you know, to extract all of the value we can out of the marketplace.
The deal values UFC, you mentioned some numbers, $12 billion and WWE at $9.3 billion. That's a big number. Well,
here's
the
what
WWE's market cap is 6.5.
Here's what I
By the way, today, WWE stock hit its all-time high. So it's almost at $100 a share. It opened in 1999 at $25 a share.
say to you is exactly why we did this, because I think we weren't getting the pure value. I don't think the WWE was getting the pure value. Combined,
yeah, him and Rahm Emanuel look a lot alike.
It's it's rarefied air, the two of us, and I think the analysts will be able to do it. It's good for the shareholders of WWE and for the shareholders of Endeavor. And then when you look back, I don't believe that the Endeavor shareholders were getting pure play for the rest of the asset that we had. And I think for the first time, you now have the ability to do that in both situations. And that's a win-win, which is what Vince and I have always talked about.
When I throw those kind of numbers out to you, I mean, the word on the street was that you wanted $9 billion. This values the WWE at 9.3.
Right.
So despite everything that's happened,
I'm a visionary.
Well, you hit the number.
It was years ago, maybe even like 20 years ago, Vince McMahon did this interview about like what he wanted to see happen after he was gone, and he just basically like doubted his own mortality. Rather than being like, oh, I'd like to see this happen and that happen, he was like, well, I'm not going to die. It's like, okay.
Yes, deservedly so.
But here's what I would also say to you. We paid a fair price, and I'll tell you why. We paid a little bit for control premium.
You know what? They've been doing this in Japan for a really long time, and I could see this happening where there's like worked MMA matches now, especially a lot of the older UFC guys that maybe don't want to get knocked out for real anymore. They could have like worked MMA matches under the WWE brand and create like maybe like a whole division that's like more MMA focused. That could be cool. Like now that they have the same company that owns both properties, there can be crossover. It should be interesting.
Are we going to have worked Logan Paul MMA matches?
I mean, he's involved with WWE, so anything's possible now.
With our cost cuts, their new deals coming up, which is right now, and our cost savings that we think we can extract from the business right now and grow the business with all of our levers, whether it be international sales, domestic, sponsorship,
I wonder if them
gambling,
picking
all-
up the WWE, what their status is on offering health and other medical insurance to their employees.
Well, their employees are different than their fighters, I think.
But we've had like Andrew Yang and a bunch of other politicians kind of call out the WWE for how they treat their employees as independent contractors.
Well, you're talking about the wrestlers.
Yeah, the wrestlers.
Because they have actual employees that they give
but the
benefits
wrestlers are not. They're
not employees. Yeah,
they don't get medical benefits.
Right.
They don't get a lot of things. I wonder if this might change that.
I don't know what UFC does. I would guess
Hell's only says they offer no health insurance to their fighters.
I was gonna say, it's probably the same deal. They're private contractors.
The things that we do.
They're not actual employees. Now, UFC has employees, but none of them are the fighters.
I think it's right. I would also say to you is, when I bought IMG, everybody said I overpaid. It was actually one of the cheapest deals in sports. For sure, when I bought the UFC, everybody was like at $4.2 billion. They were like crazy.
It's going to be UFC 2.0. You know, there's some he wouldn't buy it if he didn't think that there was probably some crossover potential.
Not only that, he's an Emmanuel. They're running the game, dude.
What do you mean they?
That whole family runs shit.
What do they all have in common?
They're brothers.
But who are they?
They're running shit.
So, kind of like what Kanye said?
I think, was Kanye talking about Ari Emanuel when he said what he said?
Well, he said they are running shit, and the Emanuels happen to fit into that group, I believe, right?
The brothers? They're brothers.
Tripled.
Rahm Emanuel ran the fucking Obama election, and Ari Emanuel runs Hollywood.
That period of time.
Look at his client
and now
list.
with this is going to be
it's huge.
UFC 2.0.
It's huge
as it relates to all the things in the flywheel that we can bring to them, and we have unbelievably attractive economics. The balance sheet's incredible. Our debt ratio is less than 3 times. Our free cash flow conversion is unbelievable. So I think when people look at this business on a combined basis and also look at the remaining assets for both shareholder, it's incredible.
He's currently the U.S. ambassador to Japan.
Ari Emanuel?
Rahm.
Oh.
I remember when he was the mayor of Chicago. That was interesting. Oh, all right. So I'll be right back in just a minute here.
Okay, if you guys don't know about the William Morris agency, that's Ari Emanuel. There's so much going on here. And Nick Khan over here, WWE president, on the list with Dana White, Mark Shapiro. It's great that you see Vince and Ari Emanuel together, and you don't see Dana White anywhere near this. I mean, if you guys want to put some sort of anti-Semitic connotation on what I said, that's your own dumbass fucking opinion. I was obviously talking about the Emanuel brothers running both fucking politics and entertainment. You could look at their fucking list of shit, and if you want to put that on any race, that's your dumbass diluting the water. I'm talking about fucking the Emanuel family is power. So if you guys want to continue trying to shade that with your idiot thinking points, you look like the dumbass racist. I look like the flawless Teflon Don, young Bill Fridge, too sweet to cheat. That's a fact. If you guys want to throw more donos at me, by the way, I'm tired of looking at this goal being under $100. Do something with your fucking life and give us money. You sick bastards. These too sweet cheeks, says Sir Henry Rawlinson. I'm the Melmac Snack Attack. Beefy McSteak knows. You know. Billy Cooping so hard right now? Netro, what the fuck are you typing, dude? What are you typing? Cooping? Do you mean coping, you dumb shit? I'm literally going to fucking call all of you out from here on out. You're either with me or you're a fucking idiot. Only 2 ways. Only 2 ways. My coupium. I'm couponing. Majorly awesome. I am actually couponing right now. I don't know if you guys see my phone out, but I'm downloading digital coupons. I'm going to go to the grocery outlet. They have Snoop Wine, Cali Rosé for $4.99 a bottle right now. I'm going to get some Cali Rosé and be like, for Shigadale, my Pigadale. Sir Henry Rollins says, what if I'm an idiot who was with me? Well, you can be an idiot, but if you're with me, you're right by proxy. Fact.
I'm so pissed at this. Vince said yes and no about being in creative. Yes to being in a higher position. No for not being in the weeds. Monday Night Raw was shit. Vince was in Gorilla, new scripts during the show, reused storylines from 2012.
Are you so mad, Egghead? I'm so sorry. Zap Rosedower says, Billy, do you prefer Eazy-E or Tupac? Tupac, hands down. 100%. Filthy Agent says, I'm deaf, no, with you, so ... So what? You type like an idiot to prove to me you're an idiot? That's fair. Thank you. But yeah, Tupac over Eazy-E easily. Matter of fact, Tupac's song with Bone, Thug Love, way better than Eazy-E's songs with Bone. Fight me. I'm a goddamn king. I've weeded out all the trolls in our chat. There was 7 of them. The other multiple hundreds of people here, you're all good people. There's good people on one side, my side. Everybody else is a troll, and there's literally 7 of you that aren't on board. You pathetic little tickle pigs. I am like the St. Patty of troll hunting. I just got my little fucking my whistle, my little penny whistle, and I'm calling the trolls out.
Oh, another thing that I wanted to talk about that I forgot to mention was how Elon Musk, because he's getting sued about the whole Dogecoin thing, so he like rebranded Twitter as like Doge, like instead of the little bird, there's like the Shiba Inu face.
Oh no!
Yeah, did you notice that? Really? He did it 2 days ago. When it happened, the price of Dogecoin went up like 5 cents a coin.
Oh, damn.
It was craziness. So he's kind of like poking the hornet's nest because people are claiming he inflated the price of it by posting memes about it, but I don't think it really has any traction. Yeah, you know what? I think you'd really only see it if you go to it on desktop.
Yeah.
Right here, see in the upper left corner here.
Oh, damn. That Elon Musk, he's such a meme
What a
star.
stinker.
He's such a memer.
This is
Bats up 17% right now.
Yeah, I was just going to remind everyone, please send in your bats. If you have any bats, please send them my way.
And I'm just going to remind everyone that Bitcoin, crypto coin, always goes up at this point up until the election. It's going to keep climbing unless something wild happens.
Even sometimes after the election.
Well, yeah, it goes up until a while after the election.
Even like a
drops.
year after.
It drops after the president gets elected. It slowly drops and then comes back halfway through the year and starts rising up again. We're already at the beginning of that new rise.
Yeah, I did start noticing it.
It happens every single year ever since 2012. They had a huge creep up in the 2012 election. You know what happened in the 2008 election? There was no crypto. Ever since cryptos existed, every election point drives that son bitch up. Mr. Morton says crypto is dead. Well, it's climbing. I just thought you guys should take a look at your crypto portfolios.
Yeah, and if you use the Brave browser, you should be able to send it to us right now just by clicking the triangle, and it should say that we're a verified Brave creator, and you can send us the bats that way. I've just been holding on to them, waiting for them to start to rebound.
The court action spotted at the Bulls game.
Yeah, that's putting it politely. The people who rented the suite say a stripper was there for fun, and they weren't trying to offend anyone.
So, like, some people got a suite for the Chicago Bulls game and had a stripper bouncing her booty around.
There were more than just balls bouncing at the United Center.
What you think I'm GD? Baggy clothes with you.
Huh? Whoa.
Level suite has gone viral.
That's what we really do.
The stripper in the video.
It's what we really
did it.
do.
Splits, twerking, you name it. So spicy, we can't show it to you.
It's so spicy.
I hear you like strippers, and it was your idea to bring a stripper on. Is that correct?
Yeah.
A stripper to entertain guests for Jazzy's 32nd birthday.
Oh, happy
the
birthday,
Chicagoan
Jazzy.
says she always does it big for her birthday.
We all like family and friends. We very close. We all been friends for 10 years plus. So we very close, but we just party. When we be together, we have a good time.
Alongside her, Marcus, her friend, that serves as the designated money thrower and the party planner.
Nice. Hold their hands up. There was others.
Catching money from Marcus.
Yeah.
While the Bulls took on the Lake Show at the UC, the stripper put on a show for all to see.
Play with one of them G's, you gon' see.
All right.
Play with one of them G's, you gonna see this booty bounce at the Chicago Bulls game.
A statement saying we are aware of the video from last night's game. This is a clear violation of our fan code of conduct and premium seating decorum. We do not condone this behavior and have taken appropriate steps to address the matter. The renters of the suite tell me they were not kicked out and will always keep the party going.
People got to make it all blown out of proportion and all that. Man, they just never live, man.
Yeah, you guys never lived.
I guess I've never lived then.
I'm with you.
Okay, the two of you have done some fucked up shit in your life. You just didn't do it in a suite. I'm only going to a Chicago Bulls game if I know there's going to be a stripper there. I want the fucking Chicago Bull mascot to twerk.
There's this video that I saw on Twitter the other day, and I laughed really hard about it, but I felt bad because someone gets hurt in it.
Well, I like
but it I can't help but laugh at it because it's like it's a case of like complete negligence, also with being at the wrong place at the wrong time. This dumb person leaves their luggage on top of an escalator and just like watches as it gets taken by the escalator, and then this piece of luggage just flies down the escalator and takes out someone at the very bottom of it. Check this out. Watch. So they just set their luggage. I don't know why they're not chasing after it to hold on to it. Look, it's just going. It's just going. And now it's going to go over the edge. And there's this person down at the bottom. This poor motherfucker. Here it goes.
Bitch, you
Here it
better
goes.
run.
Here it goes. Nope. Woo!
It's fucked up.
Oh, God.
Are we watching
one more time
violent clips on the show?
This is not violent.
I mean, there's someone getting hurt.
This is like America's Funniest Home Videos.
There's like a
Here we go.
really good
Woo!
fight.
No, I don't want to watch a fight.
There's a really good fight that I think we should watch.
I don't want to watch it.
Maybe on a post show or something.
Yeah.
It's so good, Ben. I'm gonna send it to you. This fight is so fucking good. You guys should watch this fight with us on like a post show. Are we doing a post show tonight?
We're doing the jet thing.
We should do a post show Thursday or something just with this video clip. It's so fucking good.
Cool.
It's so good, Ben. I don't want to spoil it because we have to watch it at some point. It's so freaking good.
Check this out. This guy was running drugs and guns and all kinds of shit, but he also is a cringe rapper.
Yeah.
So he put all the evidence of his crimes in a cringe rap video.
If we have RICO charges for the mob, can we get like cringe charges?
Turns up a trove of guns, drugs, and vehicles along with stacks of cash.
Turns out a music video helped the feds figure out what to look for when they raided 2 Albuquerque homes. Guns, cars, expensive jewelry, and cash are among the images front and center in this video titled Heartless, apparently shot in a Mesa del Sol parking lot.
I thought it was titled Hardles at first because I didn't see the
Hardles.
the less at the end. I was like, "What the fuck is Hardles?"
Many of these items are at the center of a federal gang investigation after they popped up during an FBI raid last Thursday. This distinctive Polaris slingshot, for instance, matches one of the vehicles the feds seized when they searched a home near Rio Bravo and Isleta. Inside that home...
Yeah, they had a vehicle that's like a very rare type of vehicle that you don't see on the road every day.
The slingshots?
Yeah.
They also found $12,000 in cash, drugs, guns.
I wonder if that's the staple Albuquerque blue meth. It's probably just fentanyl, but you know.
And thousands of dollars worth of jewelry, including this necklace with a pendant in the...
Yeah, also a very specific necklace that you would recognize.
Was it the one that Party Thrower was wearing?
Look, see, he's wearing it. It's in the shape of New Mexico, and it's got a wolf face on it.
The one the vocalist is wearing in the video that can also be seen on top of the stacks of $100 bills, along with a gold-colored counting machine, which also turned up during the search. That's not all the feds and local law enforcement found at the home. That's where they arrested Jerry Bezzi, who's believed to be one of the men in that music video. The feds learned about the video from MDC's gang unit, which is part of the FBI's Violent Gangs Task Force.
See, that's what I don't like about these Violent Gangs Task Force. They're out here playing the music, but they're not really vibing to it.
The FBI says this video even helped them figure out what to look for when they drafted their search warrants for the homes of Bezzi and Julian Leyba. The feds found Leyba at the other home they raided that same day near Wyoming and Copper, finding a stolen AR-style rifle, other guns, and bulletproof vests. It's not clear whether any of the guns are the ones used in the music video, but a number of the production's other props are now in the custody of the FBI, and the two men, both convicted felons, behind bars.
See, they do the orange suits, but they also do the stripes. Orange stripes.
It's like a peppermint creamsicle or something.
Yeah.
Leyba is facing federal charges.
Those are
including
fucking
for being
ugly.
a felon with a gun. Bezzi is charged at the state level for drug trafficking and also being a felon with a gun.
Oh, felons with guns.
Making videos, snitching on themselves.
Are we basically just watching all the people that are going to be rooming with Trump now?
No, this is in New Mexico.
Damn it.
What was this? Oh, yeah, here's the Clark Gable. I was going to compare that to Vince earlier. But
That's Vince McMahon?
Yeah, that's him. That is him. That was definitely him. Yeah, after this, we're going to do a post show, and the post show, we're going to continue the series. The post is up on our Patreon right now for all $10 plus patrons. I posted it a while back, so go back to right before the last actual Mania, and it's right there. So if you want to join us for this, it's for all $10 plus patrons. If you want to sign up, patreon.com/DP. Got a few more things here. Oh, God. I have to play this. Oh, man. All right. Here we go.
I should turn off the goddamn internet.
Oh, don't touch me. Don't touch me. TP, are they going to touch me?
How's it going, guys? Let me turn the sound settings up.
He thinks the sound settings on his Windows sound settings affect OBS, apparently, which they don't. They just affect like how you hear it through your computer speakers.
I'll warn you right before I do it.
Okay. So glad you did this after you started
Okay, I'm
the
about
video.
to turn the sound settings up. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, let's talk about my bulk.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, he's going to tell you why he failed his bulk. Spoiler alert, none of it was his fault.
Did somebody run in and jam his mouth full of those little festive Easter bunny butters? Have you seen those?
He basically blames his parents.
You can buy butter that's shaped like an Easter bunny. It's like a little tabletop bunny butter.
It was a win-fail thing. You know, I'm not going to say it was entirely a fail, but I just want to give you guys some tips and, you know, give some clarity as to why it didn't go the way exactly that I wanted. My goal, and I told a guy at Gold's Gym this, a guy that worked there, he asked me, like, what my goals were, you know, before we joined. Me and my dad, he was asking us questions and shit like that, and I basically said this, that I wanted to lose 20 pounds and, God willing, you know, put on 20 pounds of muscle. Well, I was able to do about half that. I would say in the 3 years of my bulk, I put on roughly 10 pounds of muscle.
No, you did.
But I just didn't lose the 20 pounds, and maybe the 10 pounds I put on was not muscle but fat.
It was like
not
100 pounds of fat. No muscle.
Roughly. Maybe not exactly on the mark.
You don't gain 10 pounds of muscle sitting in front of a computer on the internet all day.
But I want to say round about 10 pounds. Which, hey, for my age, isn't bad, dude. It's really not bad, bro. We will get to age in a second, though. But in terms of weight loss, it was because of my poor diet. You know, you guys know what I eat. I don't eat the best food, dude. And it's simply because my family's poor, you know.
Oh, I thought it was because they have Hellman's in your area.
Anyone. I'm grateful to have a roof over my head, and I'm grateful to have, you know, free rent and free food. Okay, my trolls try to paint me out as to being, you know, an ungrateful person.
You are.
I'm really not, dude. You know, my parents tried their best with me. You know, I tried to get them to buy certain things, but the truth is, I live with seniors, and one of them has diabetes, so he can't eat the same things that I can, and it makes things really confusing and complicated. For example...
Yeah, like if you went and got a job, you could buy all the food you wanted to eat. You wouldn't have to eat your parents' food.
That would be too complicated.
Oh.
I don't drink dairy milk. That has killed me, bro, because I love dairy milk. I hate almond milk.
You think you're going to lose weight drinking a bunch of dairy milk, though?
I hate the way it tastes. I hate everything about it. It sucks. And it has no protein. It has 1 stinking gram. 1 stinking gram of protein.
Well, you can eat other things that give you protein.
Eric Bugenhagen said it best.
Milk is the only way to get protein.
No.
Eric Bugenhagen said it best.
The mass protein you get is through dairy. That's what whey is. Whey comes from milk, and that's in all protein powders. You know, steak is overrated, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great. You know, I wish we had fucking steak here at the house. And, you know, let alone ground beef, but my parents can't buy that.
I want to do lobster gains. It's high in protein, low in calorie. I feel like lobster gains would be lit.
You know, it's just, well, they choose not to because my mom, bless her soul, you know, she believes everything Dr. Oz says and people on the news, and she thinks that it's, you know, really bad for you. When in reality, if you just rinse it, you know, and if you put maybe a paper towel to it, get the grease out, it's not that bad.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Milk.
No, he was talking about like red meat.
Oh,
he said, like, use a paper towel.
Just rinse it. You know, after I cook a steak, you know what I do? I let it sit for 10 minutes and then I rinse it.
And meat is much more greasy, and there's no way we could afford that lean shit, that grass-fed shit. But look, I'm just gonna say it like this, guys. If I had red meat and milk, I'd be much bigger. But because I don't, I still have man tits.
Poor Jared.
You know,
he's a victim of his own fucking prison.
He does zero working out. I don't know why. Like, if he posted a video every day where he spent like 30 minutes actually working out, even if his form was bad, and like he at least like worked up a sweat, I'd be like, oh, Jared does really work out. But he doesn't even do that. He could so easily do that too, and he doesn't.
Did you see him jiggle those tits?
It was gross.
It's Jared jiggle tits.
He's got a double titty on his right, our left.
Yeah.
I got the bulge. And I'll tell you guys something. It is not easy, bro. When you have to eat foods that make you bloat constantly on your bulk.
Fact.
For example, beans. That's what I'm eating right now, bro.
Look at this shit that he's eating. It looks like vomit.
Beans
black-eyed peas
make you bloat. Black-eyed peas make you bloat.
No, it's fiber. Actually, it's good for your.
Yeah, you're lucky you live with senior citizens. They're actually cooking food for you that'll help you poop and won't bunch you up like all the Dorito Bogritos you'd cook if you did your own shopping.
The fucking carrot and salmon bake. And don't get me wrong, dude. You know, salmon's great, but.
Yeah, oh my God, how are you ever going to do gains eating salmon? Fish is so bad for protein. Fish is, you get so fat eating fish.
He's saying his parents can afford salmon, but they can't afford like chuck steak. I don't believe that at all.
Well, they probably are getting like the farmed Walmart salmon or something.
That's fine. You can get like a cheap chuck steak.
But when you're old, they recommend you eat salmon.
A roast, like a chuck roast.
They recommend you eat the salmon over the red meat when you're old. That's what they do to all the old guys.
Incorporate other stuff, you know what I'm saying?
The old men. He's eating old people
Unless you
food.
just eat massive amounts, but we can't afford that, dude. It's $3 a can.
Oh, it is canned salmon.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's saying it was got to be canned salmon. It's cheap, and it is.
Yeah.
He just admitted.
Can of salmon, you know what I'm saying? Which really isn't enough. You need like 2 cans. But
that's actually where the name Toucan Sam came from. Was 2 cans of salmon. It was short for 2 cans of salmon, which goes into every bowl of Fruit Loops. I don't know
I
if you
could
guys
just sum this up.
have had
I didn't
Fruit
get enough
Loops.
protein.
2 cans of salmon in every bowl.
I was getting too much carbs, which was making me bloat, and that really affected my fucking bulk. Because when you're bloated, it takes away your oxygen. So you're not going to get as good a workout, man. You're going to get winded faster. Excuse me, guys.
Why would anyone take his advice? Or, like, he said he cured his bloat by drinking rubbing alcohol.
Well, to be fair, Ben, Jared doesn't even take his own advice.
He was drinking the rubbing alcohol, though. He was.
Who put that in his head? You sick fucks.
Somebody did.
You guys know what a struggle it is. You've seen it, okay? When I tell you that I have bloating issues, I have fucking bloating issues. It is getting better, though, now that I'm losing weight, but...
Getting better
I'm also losing gains. But
no, you're not.
But here's the thing, guys. I have to stop bulking now, or else I'm gonna die. It's that serious. I have very high triglycerides.
My guy's got to stop the bulking. He's got to stop bulking.
You know, I think my cholesterol was bad. I don't remember, but more than anything, when you have high triglycerides, that's one of the most dangerous things, dude. That's
Jared's
what causes.
Family is so poor they don't have $3 to their name.
But they have a can of salmon that costs $3.
Somehow he's still getting like little things to help him stream, and like the controller that he games with.
That was a Christmas present, right?
Yeah.
This fatty liver disease. So if I keep bulking, inevitably I will die. And, you know, even though I don't particularly like being on this planet, I want to outlive my trolls.
His parents probably have money. Not a lot. But they probably don't spend a lot because they're old. Old people...
They're probably retired.
...learned how to be frugal. There's generations before the big... consumer sweep of the United States knew how to pinch a penny.
Well, I mean, they were the children of people who lived through the Depression, the Great Depression.
Yeah, you learn how to pinch a penny.
You know, just to fuck with them. And I don't want my parents to be sad. Because despite what they think, my parents actually do love me and they care about me a lot. That's why they got my, you know, fucking blood test to see what was going on with my body and shit like that, because I gained so much weight. But
my parents, they love me. They got a blood test to wonder why I'm eating so much of their fucking salmon.
I gained roughly, I want to say 25 to 30 pounds during these past 3 years. But I've actually dropped close to 20 pounds this past year because I've just been working fucking hard as a motherfucker, dude. You
King
guys
Jared,
would be proud
congratulations.
of me. I mean, really,
I'm
I have
proud
been,
of you, man.
You guys don't know
So
how
proud of
hard
you,
this
Jared.
has been, dude, because of my bloating and because I suffer with joint pain and other fucking pain. It's probably been one of the hardest things to do in my life. But like I said, man, you know, I'm not ready to check out quite yet. Plus, you know, I want to be a role model for the world, dude. I really do. You know, the natty community needs a hero, dude. Like,
You're the hero of the nappy community. Like, you're gross. You're nasty.
Is the S just silent? Is that just the natty community? Is that with a silent S?
fuck Brad Castleberry. That guy's an asshole. You know what I mean? He's not even natty, bro. Fucking, you know, a lot of these people, dude, that claim to be natty aren't. They need a role model, and I want to help be that guy because
You can
I
tell
hate
somebody's
beer.
natty because they're going to have triple tits that they jiggle when they talk about their salmon fucking lentils.
I hate it with a passion. And that thing is such a soul snatcher. It really is, bro.
Anyone who's
And,
actually in good shape isn't natty, according to Jared.
I just want to be able to, you know, have that kind of a fucking, you know, make that kind of a dent in the world to help people, you know, not die, basically. You know, I want to be able to have that sort of fulfillment in knowing that I made that kind of a difference. So that's what I got for you guys, man. You know, this isn't over, dude. I'm still, what do they call it, main gaining, where I'm still gaining muscle everywhere. It's just going to be at a much slower weight.
If he had actually been gaining muscle the whole time he's claimed, he would be fucking insanely huge. He'd be like Bobby Lashley style ripped if that were the case, but he's not. He's not gaining any muscle. He has gained fat.
It does take a lot of protein and nutrients.
It also
to
takes
become
working
a Bobby
out.
Lashley.
It also takes working out, and he doesn't do any of that.
I think even if he did work out, obviously his body would be different. Even if he did work out, I don't think he has the finances to have that Bobby Lashley body.
Right.
That's a lot of chicken and broccoli and shit you got to eat to get that up. But
I have to stop.
Some of it's genetics too. Like some people just have like naturally more muscle mass.
Bulking, guys. It is what it fucking is. You know, I realize when it's time to quit. I'm not going to be stupid about it. Even though my body wants to keep stuffing and gorging and working out, you know, 2 hours a day.
He does not. Okay. If he worked out 2 hours a day every day, we'd see it. Like we would see it. He would have like at least like big shoulders or whatever working out. He probably just sits and like squeezes those things, and that's working.
he
out
should
to
upload
him.
a 2-hour workout video of his daily routine.
That's what I was saying. Then I would believe him. If there was a new video every day that was 1 to 2 hours long of him actually working out and not playing with the hand gripper things, I'm talking like some kind of actual working out, like curls with dumbbells.
Jared shouldn't doubt himself like this. He should stick to his guns and double down on the bulking, like KFC.
Yes,
double down.
KFC
got a
double
KFC double down. That's smart. Thank you, Seth Looks.
Now we're at 12.5% of our weekly goal.
Jared is a kind of natty, only $1.50, and full of unhealthy calories. This is also his way of saying he can't hide his fat anymore.
I can't tell if he's as fat as he was at his peak.
Remember I told you that the beard wouldn't last long because he can't like not hack at his hair and his so the beard's gone already.
Big Diesel, our friend of the show, Actual Mania competitor Big Diesel, says it takes a lot of food for him to stay muscular. So it costs him more than the average person in food bills. Yeah, Big Diesel, you're one of the, like you, myself, we bodybuild. So we have to eat more than the average person. You go for muscle. I go for those sexy, pillowy flabs. But it's the same thing. We have to eat more. I'm constantly shoveling shit in my mouth just to stay flabby.
Okay.
I can't do that anymore, dude. My body, it just... You know,
Jared is such a unit. He's made of 110% supple mass. Mascot of the nasty community.
Those nasty natties, dude.
And
the supple mass, baby.
Me to my next point. What could have helped with this? Well, I'll tell you guys something. I don't know for sure about this, but I think I fucked my body up when I was a kid, because when I was like 18 to 22, for a very long time, I was a vegetarian. I even became a vegan in that time. It was roughly like 3 to 4 years, I want to say. And
you have no idea how long it was. You have no concept.
When you go on an extreme diets like that, it can fuck you up. Like, you really have to be careful with that kind of stuff, and I wasn't. And I think that because I was consuming more carbs than I should have, I think that may have permanently damaged my body, and that could actually be the reason why I suffer with bloating.
He never wants to, like, admit defeat.
Now, again,
Hulk
don't
Hogan
quote
was
me,
a
I'm
little
not
fat
exactly
carb
sure,
eating kid.
but
According
it
to
makes sense.
the Nickelodeon episode of Hulk Hogan's childhood, he said he was a little. You ever see that Nickelodeon episode where Hulk Hogan talks about being a fat kid?
There are old photos of him where he was kind of chunky.
Yeah, if Hulk Hogan can be a little chunkster and then become that, Jared, you did not fuck yourself up as a kid. You probably gave yourself the base foundation to be 6 feet tall because you carb loaded in your formative years.
Hulk Hogan also took a ton of steroids. Probably still does till this day.
Not as a little kid, though.
Not as a little kid, no.
Yeah, him being fat probably helped him grow early on. He was giving himself the nutrients to grow, overstimulating his hormones with extra fucking fuel.
If you think about it, you know, isn't that a bitch? Trying to do good and you got bad. But then again, you know, I was being careless, so
you were
I guess
probably
karma
actually
was
giving
just
yourself
in
a
that.
base to become a massive man, and you fucked it up by becoming a schlub.
In that regard. But I wanted to mention one more thing too. See how much time we got. Okay. It's going to be a bit of a lengthy video here. Might as well get some fucking
Jesus,
water.
the cross trainer says all Doritos is technically a vegan diet. What Doritos are vegan? Not the nacho cheese.
Yeah, because cheese is not vegan. What are you talking about?
Yeah, look, you tell
it's at
me-
least a dairy byproduct. I know it's not.
You
like,
tell me which Doritos are vegan, and I'll go on a vegan diet.
In this Little League baseball photo here, Hogan's the one in the really tall one in the
In the
back.
middle, yeah, I can see his face. I can see that's Hogan.
Yeah,
he's not that fat.
I mean, this is teenage. I've seen like little kid photos of
Yeah.
him where he was chunky.
Yeah.
But this
Look
is
at that
him. He's
sick unit.
He's probably like 14 here, something like
He
that.
looks like he's about to walk in and fuck Mancow's wife. What was the guy who? Was it
Not Mancow, Bubba the Love
But yeah,
Sponge.
go fuck the Love Sponge wife. Now he's gonna do it. Barbecue Doritos are vegan. Yeah, when I was gonna buy the Passover Doritos, they had like the Israeli font where the Doritos logo was. I had them in my cart. Those were barbecue flavor for Passover, and they were like $9 though, and I put them back because I wasn't gonna spend $9 on a bag of Doritos. But I wanted to try what the Passover Doritos, kosher Doritos tasted like. They're probably great.
My one regret that I have.
Making the video where you said you want a fucking 8-year-old.
I mean,
is that it?
That would be a good one. It wouldn't be the only one I would bring up.
Kid, you know, in high school and even in middle school.
Okay,
bro.
so one regret he had as a kid obviously was not fucking a kid of his age, right? That's to say, I wish I would have started fucking kids when I was one, so it wouldn't be creepy, right? Is that what he's gonna say? Is that his regret?
That's gonna go into the archive.
Is that gonna be his regret?
That's gonna get clipped right
Is that
there.
gonna be? I'm saying what Jared's saying.
I know, but every time we say something like that,
Because our audience likes to take our informative genius brilliance out of context to make it sound horrible.
I never joined sports, dude. I was a really antisocial kid. And looking back on it, I think it did hinder my life, because if I would have joined sports, number one, dude, that's how you get the girls.
Oh, it was kids. By proxy, it was getting with kids.
Real, bro.
His age.
Girls didn't care about skaters back in the 90s.
By
and they
proxy, it was about that.
still don't. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're one of those really preppy skaters, you know, that wears fucking Aeropostale and fucking What else?
Dude, he's stuck in the 90s, isn't he?
He literally was in the era of the Skater Boy song.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. You would have been able to bag girls that were questionably legal when that Avril Lavigne song was a hit. I know how old you are. You would have been like 20. You'd have been at perfect scumbag skater age to take advantage of 17-year-old skater girls.
You know, goddamn.
You sicko.
What's the shit preps wear? I don't know. Like Abercrombie and Fitch, I guess. I don't fucking know, dude. But yeah, dude. I mean, it would have helped me out with the girls, dude, and it would have put on muscle at an earlier age. So it would have been easier to get muscle as an older guy. You know, it would have increased my body's testosterone. And that's my main issue as an older dude. Excuse me. Goddamn. Is that I have low T because of my fucking age. I'm almost 40 years old. So if I would have, you know, helped spark, you know, kind of jump spark that as a younger guy, I think it would have been much easier.
Jump start.
Got a jump spark all cinder
again,
blocks.
My opinion. You know, could I be wrong?
It is comparable.
It makes sense to me. You know. And also, dude, you know, I would have made friends, too, because I'll be honest, bro, I didn't have a lot of friends growing up in school, dude. I was very antisocial. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy to be like that, dude. All I did was just ride my skateboard and play the drums, you know, which was fun.
I mean, you could still have had a social life doing those things. There are people that get together and skateboard. There are people that get together and play music.
Yeah.
That was most of my social life when I was a teenager.
I hate to tell you this, Jared, but the drummers were the ones picking up the most chicks. Drummers got those drummer hands. You get the girls coming to the concert, there's the ones that go for the lead. There's the ones that go for the cute side guy. But the real sluts see the drummer's hands and his fingers like this. You see these writhing drummer hands, and these girls just drip right back to the drumstick.
There's almost no fingers involved in playing drums.
You get strong from holding the sticks and beating the sticks.
I would say someone that has to press strings down would have stronger hands.
Not as much as the drummers. The drummers have crazy strong hands.
You're not correct.
Well, we're going to have to go into the fucking archives for this one.
I mean, I did
that
enjoy
old guy
it.
says Billy is too
But
correct.
I was actually a pretty lonely kid. I didn't have a lot of fucking friends, and there were times when I would eat lunch,
says drummers
you know,
have
by
strong
myself.
thigh muscles
Yeah,
and stamina
dumb people
too.
in the chat are agreeing with you.
No,
Yeah,
smart people in the chat
you point
are
that out
agreeing
all
with
the
me.
time.
Smart,
lunch
actual
tables.
people
And
who
that's
know.
never fun, you know.
They know.
It's so
But,
ridiculous.
You know,
fact.
I'm not saying I should.
You could say shit tasted like ice cream and they would agree with you. They're literally sycophantic, simpy
Well, that's
losers.
easy for you to say.
Captain fucking Joe America with a stupid leather jacket, but
Everybody watching right now, Ben's opinion of you is not the opinion of the Drunken Peasants podcast.
I could do some pretty sweet
We
layups.
understand you guys
I
are
would always play
brilliant self-thinkers that just happen to agree with me when I'm right.
basketball and PE before PE started,
Hey,
bro.
Billy, you know what they say about bassists? We do it deeper, like this tip train coming up.
Tip train! Of course, if you're a bassist, you're going to know what they say about bassists. I was never a drummer. I was never in a band.
I played drums and guitar and bass, and I could say, as far as your hands go, having to hold up now my shoulders and my like forearms and stuff. Playing drums, yeah, that gets to work out my wrists, but you don't do anything with your fingers except for
Jared
grip a
crying
stick.
and bitching about not having friends, yet he made a video a week ago saying that friends are nothing but fake people who are businessmen. Like, fucking what?
You're gripping a stick and consistently banging that stick. That's consistent muscle
You have
use,
no idea
holding
what
it.
the fuck you're talking about.
I 100% do.
I'd be in
I
the
know
fucking gym
100%. It's
shooting hoops with the homies.
110%.
I was pretty fucking good, and I got long arms too, which is you know what that means if you got long arms. Just kidding, but yeah, dude, I probably
Jared's
could have
jokes
made
are
it
so
to like
good.
A team, as they call it, which was like the best team. You know what I'm saying? The best group of students, and you know, but I didn't because I just I was a shy kid growing up, homie. I'm not gonna front with you guys.
And it's actually better to not grip the sticks too tight. You want it to be kind of loose.
It's all about
I was very
calibration of that
shy,
finger
and it was
strength.
hard for me to talk to girls. even though I did have a few girlfriends,
Even the finger exerciser thing, he even mentioned this, that he uses. You could buy that at like a music store because it's for guitar players to like strengthen their fingers.
Yeah, they need it because they're not drumming.
I was not a ladies'
You
man.
just
and I'll be
pile on the
first to fucking
bullshit.
tell you
It's
that.
so
I'm
fucking
not ashamed of
ridiculous.
it,
Just out here
dude. It's
pointing
just
out
how it
some
is, homie.
simple observations.
I was never really, you know, I never had, let me just put it this way, I never really had a good role models, you know, to teach me these things. I'll just leave it at that. But anyways, guys, we're 13 minutes in, so that's why I failed my bulk. But guys, let me tell you something. It was still a dub. I didn't exactly get what I wanted, but motherfucker, I still gained some. You know, plus it's been...
How are we both, Hawkeye, how are we both wrong when we're not even talking about piano players? Like, how does that even make sense?
And do you think piano players have stronger hands and arms?
Well, a piano is a percussion instrument in many ways, even though it's also a string instrument, but it's all about like banging on it. I mean, I don't know. It's such a weird question. But drummers have nothing to do with fingers at all.
For one thing, I do want to go to Google right now because I
don't
Googled it, and Google, who is known to be correct about everything like myself, says drummers will get strong hands and arms and probably leg strength as well. In fact, drumming may be the best overall physical exercise of any instrument.
It is. But that doesn't say anything about strong fingers. It is because you're playing with all four of your limbs. So that's a totally different thing.
Fun just learning the art of bodybuilding, dude. It's sculpting. It really
definitely
is.
is.
It's just like being a sculptor. And it's just about fucking constant repetitions, dude.
I just want women at home right
And
now
really
to know
learning how
I
to
see you fucking just spill, you drip, you squirt, you get so moist for those fingers. I know it. I know it. And it happens to be the drummers always have the best fingers.
Why do you think this is fun?
What?
Why do you think it's fun to just argue nonsense? You know it's not even
It's not
true.
nonsense. I just looked up Google.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Google told me the drummers are the men.
I was only pretending to be
sculpt
retarded.
with your body. You
That's
know?
not
it's
what
like the dumbbell is your
terribly
chisel, dude.
unfair, Ben.
You know, and the kettlebell is your paintbrush.
Now you're making
That's how
fun
I
of my
see it
stimming
anyway, and
because
I
I
know
have
you
never
guys
diagnosed
are
with
gonna judge me
stimming.
for this,
well, it's
but
obviously
I
what
love
I'm doing.
Brad
What do you think I'm
Castleberry.
doing? You're
I
making.
do.
That's
He
what
says
I'm
it's
doing.
fake.
I'm Ben, and I have.
I don't think that he's fake.
I have twitches.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's natty, but
twitches.
I don't think he lifts fake weights. I think that's just one of those fucking...
You pig!
You know what I'm saying? Have to watch the clock here. I'm almost at 15, but... No, I think people just don't like him. And, you know... People will believe anything if it's someone they don't like. There was never really any solid proof in my eyes that he lifted fake weights, but... I can barely talk right now because I'm so fucking tired. But anyways, guys, I hope one of you enjoys this video. Maybe get something out of it. Anyways, y'all, thanks for watching. Peace.
All the women watching right now, I'm sorry that I had to point out how sick you are for drummers. How absolutely disgustingly feminine you get for drummers. I didn't mean to put you on the spotlight.
The
like
funny
that.
thing is that I never even disputed that. Not that I care either way, but the finger thing is just not true. They don't play with their fingers. Has nothing to do with finger strength.
It's one of the byproducts of being a drummer. You get these strong hands.
No.
These strong hands, strong arms, strong legs, strong everything. Your core, but it all comes down to those fucking hands. The women see those hands and they just puddle up. Which is why I actually get so many women suitors, because my fingers are really good from eating so much. I'm constantly using them to pick up chips. I got very long, beautiful fingers.
Awesome. So, we're going to end this show and go do the post show All patrons $10 and above, you can join us there. Patreon.com/DP. And yeah, we're going to do it over there. We will see you all there. The links are up now.
Everybody have a good night.